welcome here to Saxon Stadium on the campus of Mercyhurst University for tonight's NPSL action between the Buffalo Stallions and the unbeaten Erie Commodores. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight. If you're watching at home on the Erie Commodores Facebook page, YouTube page, and or Erie News Now Plus, I'm John Laddick alongside Jack Quinn. Jack, it's going to be an exciting night as the Commodores, unfortunately, they yielded their first goal of the year. We'll get into that against these Buffalo Stallions. They've had a number of key contributors, but maybe none bigger so far this month than Alvar Silva, who's up for recognition across the league.
Yeah, we want the folks to go out there and vote for it. He has scored 2 goals. This entire team has been extraordinary, and there you see where you can go on the NPSL website to vote for Silva. He has been extraordinary with 2 goals and an assist on the season, and this entire team has come together rapidly. They had to, with all these players coming from different places. As you said, unbeaten, untied, no longer unscored upon, but an 18-to-1 goals-to-goals against ratio. I think you'll take that.
You will take that any day of the week, and it is npsl.com/POTM for Player of the Month. He's currently voting. Voting ends tomorrow, so go over there right now. Go over tonight. Make sure you get that vote in to have Alvar Silva as the NPSL Player of the Month. Jack, should be a good one here. These two teams not unfamiliar. They just saw each other in that 5-1 win for the Erie Commodores last week. They come into this one. Let's take a look first at the visitors, the Buffalo Stallions here, as they got their first goal of the year. But they'll be looking for much more here as they hit the road against the Erie Commodores.
Yeah, not going to sugarcoat it. It's been a rough year so far for Buffalo, but, you know, it is what it is. And they come in here. I mentioned Erie with the 18-to-1, 17+ in the goal differential. They are 18-3 minus. So, look, they lost 5-1 to this Erie Ball Club a couple of games ago. It's going to be tough. Now, they did have a game since then, coming off of a 4-1 loss to rival Rochester right up the road on I-90. Of course, this is up the road on I-90 for Erie. But, nevertheless, yeah, they're going to look at, they're going to try to improve on that. And the biggest key for Buffalo is to get off to a good start. When you're struggling, when you don't have a lot of momentum, you try to build it yourself.
We'll take you through the lineup here. Martin Barberry starts as the keeper here for the Stallions. Then you also have Jason Hernandez, Ben Schmidt as the center mid. Fabrizio Jaramillo will be the midfielder for this club. Ani Hadu starts at forward. We have Max Voyer as a defender. Stephen Haven. You have Logan Diebold. And then Joshua Lanazak as well as a midfielder for this club. Keegan Herman at midfield, and then Tyler Warmington as well rounds out the starting lineup here for this group. One note we want to mention, if you're following along tonight, 17, Joshua Lanazak. He made a quick jersey change. He will be 18 coming into tonight's match.
Yeah, and Voyer, the only player for this Buffalo team who has scored a goal. He scored 3 this season, so obviously they're going to look to spread the wealth to an extent, but he's the one guy you're going to want to key in on if you're Erie.
Meanwhile, the Erie Commodores, they've had a number of staples on their lineup. If you take a look at it, Tim Teicher has kind of split the duties with Aymar Aramendia. He'll get the start here tonight as the keep. One of the stalwarts on that back end is Matthew Bavon. On the defensive side there, Jack, Shokinjo will also be a part of tonight's lineup. Alvar Silva, as he's up for Player of the Month, as we just mentioned. Alex Sanchez, Rakito Takuchi. The local product, Charlie Peterson, gets the start tonight. Santiago Bustamante also getting a start here, as he's quite familiar here as a member of the Lakers. And then you have up front Julian Tavar, Will Perry, and Masaki Tsuji. And boy, we were talking about it. There's been a number of players that have contributed, especially those forwards know how to get the ball up quickly.
Yeah, Tsuji, 22, with a goal already on the season. He is so fast. He is so much fun to watch. When you put the ball up in the air and he can run under it, he can beat almost any defender, at least that we've seen so far this season. And let's not forget Citron, who is not in the starting lineup. We may see him later. He had a hat trick against this same ball club.
Yeah, we'll see if he draws in at some point tonight. The wingers have been electric, as we've seen through this one. Let's take a look at the last time we were here at Saxon Stadium, because it was quite a performance at the time. It was a 4-0 win, and it was unbeaten, and there was plenty to get to, including in the 31st minute, you see, or 33rd rather, as you saw this one go home. Alex Sanchez would take this one on the backside and feed it home.
And this was after the keeper made a number of good saves for them. Erie had so many chances, but that one was unstoppable. Great pass and finish.
And the Commodores could have had probably 6 goals in the first half. They started quickly in the second half. Masaki Tsuji comes up with this one. Look at the strike.
And the bend, we could see that perfectly on our angle from the press box spot. You knew it was going in. It may have been tipped. It would have gone in anyway.
And here's Alvar Silva. This is the great passing we saw from this group, especially Jack in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely great. They're always on point. The spacing is so phenomenal, the mark of a well-coached team.
And it all wrapped up in the scoring department with a takedown in the box. That set up a PK, and none other than the team leading goal scorer at the time with this goal in the 81st minute, Julian Tovar.
Yeah, Tovar blasted in, one for the governor, as they say, one for good measure, and to help that goal differential.
And Jack, how about this save? You saw it as I was going down to the field.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, diving to his right, and then the recovery to have the wherewithal to thwart it away when he's on the ground doesn't get much better than that. Commodores are blessed to have not one but two outstanding keepers.
Yeah, Aymar Aramendia coming up with that save, as they certainly have been off to a great start. Again, one of the top goal differentials also in all of the NPSL. We'll break down more of that, but coming up next when we return, it is Off the Pitch, and we are just days away from the start of the World Cup here across the United States and North America. John Mellovey, the owner of the Erie Commodores, will be breaking it down with a number of players about their respective clubs they'll be rooting for when things get underway Thursday. We return here. You're watching Erie Commodores Soccer, presented by LECOM.
Visit Erie, Good Life, Great Lake.
Life isn't a single moment. It's a shared ribbon that bends through the years. It binds us to the things and people we love most. One insurance company knows this because they live it. For more than 100 years, we've been with your family for the moments that matter most. Then, now, always. Erie Insurance.
LECOM is among the nation's largest and most applied-to medical schools. We expand the boundaries of medical knowledge, challenging our students and preparing them to realize their potential. With 4 campuses nationwide and over 17,000 alumni, you can become part of the next generation of LECOM graduates. At LECOM, we make doctors.
Visit Erie. Good Life, Great Lake.
Welcome back, everybody. We are now on to episode 4 of Off the Pitch for the 2026 season. So let's get started. Let's go to World Cup a little bit. You know, I love talking to English guys this time of year because your confidence oozes. Is it coming home?
No.
No, you don't think so? The squad just got released yesterday.
Shocking.
Really?
Really
shocking. What upsets you?
I think the Maguire should have been in. Even though I'm a Liverpool fan, I do think Maguire should have been in.
No Liverpool player on the squad for the first time since 1996, I think.
It's not great,
Which is crazy, right?
Yeah, but I mean, typical England, innit? We're not gonna get my hopes up. So
who do you think will win the World Cup then?
Probably France or Portugal.
Right.
Yeah.
Why are people so... Ireland just beat Portugal. Why are everybody all about Portugal?
I don't know, just I think as a midfielder, their midfield is just...
Yeah.
I don't think it's just unbelievable, so I don't see how another team really competes with that. Maybe France.
Albania didn't qualify.
Sadly, no.
Neither did Ireland. It is sad. Kosovo almost qualified.
Yeah.
Didn't qualify. Got beaten
Very
in the
close.
playoffs. Same as Ireland got beaten in the playoffs. So who do you support now?
Right now, obviously, I have to support the USA.
Yes, you do.
So I'm hoping they have a good World Cup. I think that we could have a really good year.
I mean, we obviously got Pochettino in charge, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he's got the pedigree of, you know, a really, really, really good coach. But they've had a lot of mixed results in recent times, the States.
Yeah.
So is he going to be able to pull it all together here in the next, 6 weeks?
I mean, I truly believe so. We have a lot of young talent coming up, and we have a lot of players playing in top leagues in Europe. So I believe that, you know, the U.S. will shock a lot of nations this year.
Which would be nice. Obviously,
Yeah.
when the home country does well, it's special. I mean, there's obviously a lot of non-soccer fans in this country, so hopefully it can kind of, you know, get everybody kind of, you know, behind the team and give them the support that they need. Messi, Ronaldo.
Honestly, I think Messi's the better player, but I would much rather have Ronaldo's career.
Why?
I don't know. I would just say something about Ronaldo, like his aura, you know, like
Yeah,
he comes out.
absolutely.
He's the man, you know.
Yeah, yeah. He goes, I'm here. Look at me.
Exactly,
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Are you Ronaldo, Messi? What's your
Messi.
choice there? Messi, because
He's just the greatest, isn't he?
is he? I don't think so. I absolutely think he wouldn't lace Maradona's boots.
Well,
You know, I'm just
I've
showing
not
my
watched
age.
Maradona,
I'm just showing my
so-
age. But I've seen Maradona put Argentina on its back and take him to the World Cup and win the World Cup.
well, Messi did the same, didn't
Well,
he?
he didn't really put him on his back, did he?
I disagree.
Yeah, okay, we can argue that one until we're blue in the face. But yeah, I'm old school. It's Maradona every day for me. I suppose, effectively, you were born and raised in the States. You walk into a locker room here in Erie, Pennsylvania, that there is probably 10 different nationalities.
Yeah.
How does that work for you?
Honestly, it is not much of a change from my junior college.
Okay.
It's the exact same way. You know, that's always what I've been around. I'd consider myself more Albanian than American
Yeah.
anyway. So I just think it's nice to see like how many different nationalities can come together. We're all good friends. We're all good teammates. So yeah.
Which is nice to see. I mean, even talking to players in the first week or two, it feels like, to me, as an owner of the club, that people are very comfortable right away.
Yeah.
That there's a good feeling, there's a good kind of a solidarity in the group, even though there's, like say, all kinds of nationalities, all kinds of people speaking different languages. But like, it doesn't really matter when the ball is thrown out, does it?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Who's the funniest in the locker room?
The funniest, Adrian. Something's wrong with him, but he's funny.
When you came to the States, you were like, wow, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
What was that? What jumped out at you? Because obviously we all have an impression of America before we get here.
Yeah.
What surprised you?
I think you get sold like the American like high school dream sort of thing. So when I went to Rio Grande, Ohio, it's like there's barely anything going on in terms of that stuff. But I think it's like maybe it's my expectations being like up here.
Well, I think that's the expectations you're given, really.
Yeah.
This is John Melody signing off. Thank you for being with us. And again, for all and any information, please check out our YouTube channel at Erie Commodores FC. For game information, to buy tickets, to find out more about the season, please visit our website, eriecommodores.com. Hopefully we'll see you at a game. Thank you all for your support, and we'll see you on the pitch, and then we'll see you off the pitch for the podcast. Thank you all.
At John Russell Hospitality, every restaurant tells a story of flavor, community, and unforgettable moments. From handcrafted meals to welcoming spaces, we bring people together around a table. John Russell Hospitality, where great food meets genuine companionship. Make sure to visit one of our 6 locations today.
If you know what you want, LECOM will help you achieve it. We are among the nation's largest and most applied to medical schools, offering programs in medicine, pharmacy, dentistry, and podiatry, with student-centered learning and a nearly 100% residency placement. With 4 campuses nationwide, you can count on LECOM for your future. Become the medical practitioner you know you can be. At LECOM, we make doctors.
We welcome you back here to Saxon Stadium. Erie Commodores pre-game coverage as all season long. LECOM, a proud sponsor of the Erie Commodores. Tonight's match sponsor is Erie Insurance. All right, let's get into it here. Let's start things off for this Erie Commodores team coming into this one. One of the best goal differentials, I believe, top 5 in all the NPSL. They have a number of scorers. What are the keys to the match here tonight as they return home for their third match of the season?
Well, I mean, let's not beat around the bush here. This is a mismatch on paper, and Erie beat this team by 4 goals only a week ago. Erie may be a little rusty. They haven't played in a week. The Stallions have played a game in that time. It was another loss. Erie with a plus 17, the Stallions minus 15. The biggest key to me for Erie is the look ahead. They have a critical game coming up on Wednesday up in Cleveland at Baldwin-Wallace. Trestle Field at Baldwin-Wallace. I don't know if they make everyone in attendance wear a sweater vest or not, but 2 unbeaten teams, depending on what happens tonight, for first place in the Great Lakes Conference of the NPSL. It's going to be a critical game, so no question, to me, the biggest key is the Commodores focus on tonight's match. We don't really have to do that. We're broadcasters. We can look ahead if we want.
Right.
They have to maintain focus tonight, take care of business, and then they can worry about a first-place match on Wednesday night.
Meanwhile, you look at this Buffalo Stallions team. I think you look at it 0-4. You talked about their goal differential coming into this one. But this was a group that had the opening tally the last time these two teams played a week ago. I guess it's about if you can score first, try and maintain the play?
Well, absolutely. And again, it's all about confidence, and they're lacking confidence right now. So if you can score early and get a little bit of momentum and just keep this game, I mean, anything can happen in a soccer match. We've seen that. We'll see that coming up when the World Cup gets underway. I mean, my goodness, the U.S. has actually advanced to the Final 8 in 2002, I believe it was. But we will see what they end up doing tonight. But it is critical, I think, for Buffalo, because if Erie gets a couple of goals early, this could be a wide margin.
We want to remind you throughout the night, if you have a little moment, you're sitting at home watching us on both the Erie Commodores YouTube page or watching on Erie News Now Plus, head over to NPSL.com and you can vote for Player of the Month. Alvar Silva currently second, but the voting ends tomorrow, so we can't stress enough. Go over there if you want Alvar Silva to be recognized as the top player in all of the NPSL with his great start, a couple of goals and an assist as well. Make sure you head over there and click vote.
And let's be clear, if it only lets you vote once, clear your cookies, tell your friends, tell your family members, vote as many times as you can within reason. But look, if it lets you clear your cookies and vote again, clear your cookies, vote again.
We also want to mention to you, look, we have some nice, donning some nice shirts, some pullovers, but the Heritage Collection was announced at the last home game last week, and that can be found at eriecommodores.com. Some great hats that they have with Erie Apparel, and you can also check that out at Erie Apparel on West 12th at their headquarters location. So make sure you grab some of the new swagger as fit check, as the young kids would call it, right?
I don't even know who you are. No, you absolutely. And then you can always, I don't believe they sell it at the U-Pick 6 stores, but you can certainly go in at one of the many restaurants in the Erie area, ask them about it. You can order it online. It is outstanding. I mean, Erie Apparel does a great job with everything they do. We're really lucky in a community like this that has 4 colleges around, all these high schools, that they're able to pretty much do whatever you want. And they did a phenomenal job with this Commodores-themed gear that is limited time only, so get there now.
Make sure you get that. Meanwhile, the Erie Commodores...
Good for 4th of July, by the way. Good present if you buy, if you want to buy something to wear on the 4th of July.
Something that you can wear on the 4th of July, and you can also go around during all this World Cup action. Don't go anywhere, because we will be talking more World Cup at halftime with John Melody, the owner of the Erie Commodores, someone that is probably much more well-versed in the World Cup stage than you and I.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's odd because here the U.S. is hosting, but I'm not getting the spin from American soccer fans that, oh, this is the one. This is the team. We always hear that this is the one. They're going to get through this time. And I know they did get to the knockout stage last time, but they've always disappointed. It's been sort of a quiet confidence this time around, which is a little bit surprising. I think there's some stress in these cities, a lot of gridlock, a lot of anticipation with all these people coming in, but it's going to be great for this country, great for Canada and Mexico as well, getting to host, I believe, the first time ever there'll be World Cup games on Canadian soil.
It'll be an interesting time. Just to recap for their last game between these two clubs, it started off with that opening goal for Buffalo, but then you had Alan Horrocks in net as they trailed 1-0, and then as we mentioned, David Citron, he had the last 3 goals. He had the natural hat trick to help his Commodores team. Jacob Anderson and Julian Tovar also scoring. It came Tovar in the 45th minute, Anderson in the 54th, and then Citron 72nd, 80th and 89th. So he just snuck in the hat trick there the last time these two met.
What's an unnatural hat trick? You said he had a natural hat trick.
Natural hat trick in hockey is when you score 3 consecutive.
Oh, I see. Okay, there you go.
So there you go. Well, I don't know if that equivocates to the soccer realm, but we'll try that. But the Commodores, they've done well here. They also had a victory over the Niagara 18-12 recently, Flower City. and they have played well here. For Buffalo, to give you a little background on them, the Buffalo Stallions come into this one just their second season in the NPSL. A little history lesson there, Jack, is that the original Buffalo Stallions were a part 1979 to 1984. They were part of the major indoor soccer league, the MISL.
That was a big deal, actually, back in the day. You saw a lot of teams. I believe they were the Cleveland Kicks, played down in Richfield, Ohio, where the Cavs used to play. Looking at the standings, I mentioned Wednesday's the big one. Erie goes up to Baldwin Wallace to take on Cleveland, who has 4 wins, 1 tie, no losses. They're in second. And then the Ambassadors of Ohio, they're out of Canton. They play at Malone, which is right down the road from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They're 4 wins, no ties, 1 loss. So coagulation at the top and at the bottom. So just critical that you go through tonight, get the win, and then we'll go.
Well, you want to mention, too, when we talk about this with how close those two teams are tonight, if you can rack up the goals again,
right,
you'll want to try and do that because goal differential, the first tiebreaker.
Yeah, and you never know. Right now, Erie has an 8-goal lead in the goal differential over Cleveland, but that can change in a hurry. Like you said, if Cleveland's playing one of these teams that's struggling, they can get a 5-6 goal margin potentially. And again, you think back to the last game, how much the times Erie was unlucky in front of the net. And speaking of the word unlucky, I do want to mention that tonight is St. George soccer night, not hockey. You had me thinking with a natural hat trick there. But I do want to mention unlucky because my coach at St. George, Dave Polonsky, Bill Polonsky's dad, would always say when something went your way something didn't go your way, unlucky, play on. So nice night, St. George. The JVs won the championship. The varsity team, the 8th, 7th, 8th grade, were the runners-up. So congratulations to all the Lancers.
You'll see them in just a minute. They'll be walking out with the clubs here. That'll do it for pregame. For Jack Quinn, I'm John Leineck for all of R. Frank Media. We'll see you when we get this one underway. In just a couple of minutes, you are watching Erie Commodores Soccer, presented by Lecom.
Visit Erie, Good Life, Great Lake.
At John Russell Hospitality, every restaurant tells a story of flavor, community, and unforgettable moments. From handcrafted meals to welcoming spaces, we bring people together around a table. John Russell Hospitality, where great food meets genuine companionship. Make sure to visit one of our 6 locations today.
Life isn't a single moment. It's a shared ribbon that bends through the years. It binds us to the things and people we love most. One insurance company knows this because they live it. For more than 100 years, we've been with your family for the moments that matter most. Then, now, always. Erie Insurance.
Like in medicine, great achievements in sports require hard work, long hours, and determination. The outcome in both is worth the effort. LECOM is among the largest and most applied to medical schools, with 4 campuses nationwide, offering student-centered learning and a nearly 100% residency placement. The Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine. We make dreams reality. We make doctors.
Visit Erie. Good life, great lake.
Visit Erie, Good Life, Great Lake.
At John Russell Hospitality, every restaurant tells a story of flavor, community, and unforgettable moments. From handcrafted meals to welcoming spaces, we bring people together around a table. John Russell Hospitality, where great food meets genuine companionship. Make sure to visit one of our 6 locations today.
Here come the teams here, the Buffalo Stallions and the Erie Commodores, and they are welcomed here tonight through a kids' tunnel. As we mentioned in the pregame show, it is the St. George Lancers soccer teams that are here tonight as St. George Youth Soccer Night. The JV team winning the championship earlier this spring, and the varsity team runner-up in championship competition. Congrats to both on quite a successful season here as the 2 clubs will make their way to midfield. They'll line up, and then we will step aside for the national anthem as we get this one underway. Again, the Erie Commodores come in as the top team in the NPSL Great Lakes Conference as they are unbeaten at 5-0-0. And they'll look to remain unbeaten here tonight. They've yielded just 1 goal on the season. They have scored 18, and they'll look to add that. Their 17-goal differential is top 5 in the NPSL across all divisions. So they will introduce here tonight. Meanwhile, if you are just joining us here, I'll be joined by Jack Quinn in just a moment. We'll step aside for the national anthem and then get this one underway between the Buffalo Stallions and the Erie Commodores. And the great shots from our Frank Media and his crew here tonight, the best in the business here as they provide the broadcast here tonight. And again, tonight's match sponsor is Erie Insurance Group, one of the leaders and one of the staples of this Erie community since 1925, founded right here in Erie. They've spent more than a century helping families, businesses, and communities protect what matters most. And, of course, all season long, they are one of the great sponsors, LECOM, as well, bringing these broadcasts to you. If you're watching at home on the Erie Commodores YouTube page and social media platforms or on Erie News Now Plus, we thank you for joining us. I'm John Leineck as we get set. Before we get underway, as they announce the opening lineups for tonight, and we'll run through those again for you, but we want to mention, head over to npsl.com/POTM. That's for Player of the Month, is Alvar Silva, one of the starters here tonight, is second in voting, as he will look to be named the Player of the Month across all of the NPSL, the 6-foot Spaniard who has played at Oklahoma Christian University. He spent 2 seasons at Mercyhurst with 4 goals, 6 assists in 2025, which was a team high. So he is no stranger to playing here for the Lakers. Go head over and vote for him. Let's run through the starters here tonight for both clubs if you're just joining us as we get underway. The keeper for the Buffalo Stallions will be Martin Barberry. Jason Hernandez will be a defender. He's the captain of this club. Ben Schmidt also will play at center mid. He is number 8 if you're watching at home. Fabrizio Jaramillo at midfield. Forward, it is Ani Hadu. You have Max Voyer. Stephen Haven will be a defender, along with Voyer, who has the lone goal for this Buffalo Stallions club. Logan Diebold. You have Joshua Lanazak as well. And then Keegan Herman, Tyler Warmington round out at midfield and forward, respectively. Meanwhile, for the Erie Commodores up front tonight, they'll have Masaki Suji, Julian Tovar, who leads the club on the season in the goal-scoring department. Will Perry also as well. At midfield, it'll be Alvar Silva, Alex Sanchez, Santiago Ustamonte, and then you'll have Rikito Takuchi. And then you have Charlie Peterson, Mathieu Bevon, the Frenchman, will start on the back end, and then Sho Kinjo. In net tonight is Tim Teicher, as we welcome in Jack Quinn with us as we get ready for tonight. Boy, should be an exciting one, as you don't want to talk too early, because this was a club that was off to a heck of a start a year ago, I believe at 5-2 before they had to get into the final game with Cleveland. But this is a team that looks to build on playoff momentum.
And again, a mismatch on paper. We'll see what happens tonight. Commodores looking to keep that momentum rolling after a full week off. No midweek game. You mentioned Tovar. He leads the way with 4 goals, Citron 3. And then you have Silva, who, again, we mentioned is up for NPSL Player of the Week. Go to the website, npsl.com/POTW, to vote for Alvar Silva, number 8, and Alejandro Sanchez also with 2 goals on the year. So there you go. The scoring has been well dispersed, and we may get more dispersal here tonight. It'd be nice to see Charlie Peterson get one in front of the home fans starting the game this evening.
Yeah, the local product here that has seen time at Gannon University, where the Petersons are very well known, and then also a McDowell product here. Jack Emanuel, another member of this squad that is available tonight for Catalina Stuta.
We should mention we caught a break with the weather. It was supposed to rain. There were huge winds in the area. My power was knocked out when I was on the air this morning, which is always fun, at around 10:30 this morning. But I think it's been restored in most of the area. But anyway, the storms we were supposed to get apparently went south and canceled a country and western concert at some stadium down there. So we're glad everything is nice up here, and we're ready to go on a gorgeous night, about 72 degrees. There is a breeze blowing from left to right, so we'll see what effect that has. Should be helpful to the Commodores in the first half.
You don't tune into the country stations at all there, Jack?
No.
Okay. No. All right. Morgan Wallen is the concert he's talking about.
Is that what it is?
Yes, it is.
No. And there was another one last night.
Yes, he does 2 night tours. One city.
I see. Okay.
Back to the task at hand, though, here, as we are underway here from the beautiful Saxon Stadium on the campus of Mercyhurst University.
More of a Springsteen guy.
I could see that. I could see that for you, as Perry plays it back here. That might be the quickest 16 seconds in. That may be the quickest offside of the year, maybe I've ever seen here. So that is certainly, that's between high school, college, and now NPSL action in my tenure here in professional sports, that would definitely be one of the quicker offsides.
You know, one of the nice things about the games this season is the referees have really let them play. They have not been overly aggressive. Maybe they were to the one opponent with the early red card at Niagara,
yeah.
but they've let them play. The games have had no chippiness, and that's been really appreciated. It's made these games fun to watch. So I got to credit the refs we've had throughout the season.
Masaki Tsuji on the far side. Boy, he showed off his speed, and here he has it now. He tries to cross it. That'll direct out of play, and that'll set up an early corner for the Commodores.
Yeah, great speed there. You saw it just didn't have the angle, but wisely put it right off the foot of the defender, and we'll get the corner. It'll be Will Perry over to take it.
Yeah, we've seen Sanchez take it a number of times. Now, this is always interesting because you're looking right into the sun here. I wonder what kind of effect this could play. They do have the short game set up if that option does present itself.
Yeah, they're coagulating behind the net. And that wind will blow it toward the goal, and they play it short, as you mentioned.
There's Silva there, up for Player of the Month, as he'll retreat, center things up here.
Citron's got to be thinking, what about me? I had a hat trick. I mean, come on. I mean, there are like 4 or 5 Commodores that should be right at the very top of that list.
Julian Tovar's like, I've subbed half the games, and I lead this team in goals.
Absolutely.
Shows you the great wealth of talent across the NPSL. I think more impressive, we talk about all the goal scoring, is just the way this team is really, and the games that we've called here at Saxon Stadium, Jack, I mean, there's barely been a shot for either Tim Teicher or Aymar Aramandia.
Well, against Niagara, the ball was only touched when it was played back, which is remarkable. And in the last home game, and another what turned out to be a fairly easy win, there was an initial pressure about 2 minutes in, and that was it. It was like Erie flipped a switch defensively and just totally controlled the field position for the following, 88 minutes of the match.
Well, it was the first 2 and the last 2 because you
That's
had that
right. Yeah, you had the great save. Yeah,
Aramandia that we showed you in the pregame highlight package. But yeah, other than that, not battle tested for these Commodores keepers so far this year. So throw in will go into the Commodores attack. Defensive third as they'll retreat. Charlie Peterson playing it back to Teicher. As he'll get it up, they'll regroup, and they'll try the opposite side of the field. Actually, yeah, you mentioned the weather here. It has turned out to a gorgeous night. Sun shining, a great breeze here, not kind of taking down the temperatures. I also think there's a concert in downtown Erie tonight. The Fray are in town. As Peterson, little miscommunication there. He thought he had Rikito Takuchi going on a run, but they misplay. They'll throw in.
Where's that, at the Warner?
That's a good question. I should know that answer. And that
well, you're not going to the concert, so
no,
it's not really your fault.
Yeah.
We're here, so.
Governor's in town, I believe, as well. As Perry with great pressure there. Sanchez has it now. A little bump there. They play on.
Yeah, Perry just picked it right away. That was a sensational play. Now see if they can flip the field. A little bit bunched together here for the Commodores. And that was well done by Sanchez to realize it. Yeah,
I think if we're nitpicking with this group, their starts have been the most challenging parts of their game, is just the spacing and how they've started a couple of these games.
Yeah, and then again in that last one, they got unlucky. I mean, they had 4 or 5 balls in front of the net that just ricocheted one way or the other. Otherwise, it could have really been ugly. But after those first 2 minutes, they just absolutely dominated, and they dominated all 90 against 18. They've really dominated all season, let's be honest, other than the start of the last game against this Buffalo Stallions team. It plays at North Tonawanda High School in Western New York.
As Charlie Peter, your pools they amaze me every time.
Well, I just asked the coach. I just said, where do you play your home games?
As they tried to get a little give and go there, Peterson couldn't corral it here. That'll set up another throw. We'll have many great Jack Quinn draws of knowledge and wealth.
And in one way or the other, what happens tonight, the game on Wednesday will be critical. So if you're a Commodore fan, Wednesday at 7 at Baldwin Wallace up in beautiful Berea, Ohio, hometown of the Cleveland Browns training facility.
Yeah, you can check out, well, I guess they don't open mini camp to the fans, so to the media maybe.
Yeah, you could go up there. That will be a critical game. So, if you're not doing anything Wednesday night, you're a Commodore fan, short trip up by 90, pick up 271, you're right there.
It is a big week in the soccer world as well, as the World Cup will get underway on Thursday. The United States and North America playing host. has some pressure here as a player taken down. That time it was Ani Jadu.
Yeah, they're going to get Peterson with the foul. I think it was a good call. Yeah, a little bit of an argument, but not much. He went down. He may have, played into that a little bit, Jadu, but it was a good call and a free kick here. I think they're a little bit too far up.
Yeah, you always try to take.
Why not? Yeah.
Get,
so
right?
we'll see what Buffalo can do here in the early. This is going to be tough though from that angle, right into this wind. It should take it from left to right.
Yeah. Yeah, you get too much of it, it's going to sail quickly.
This is Warmington.
That one low and headed away, but right back towards the net as Takuchi tries to get it out. The ball still bouncing around. Charlie Peterson pushes it ahead here. Perry will try to collect and get it up.
It's a nice job by Takuchi to not only get a head on it, but have the wherewithal to head it. Sometimes you can't control it, but he was able to control it and head it away from the net.
It has been impressive to see what these wings so far as we have a little contact there as Sanchez goes down on the far side.
You mentioned the World Cup coming up, and this is going to be a plug, but I would plug it anyway, even if we weren't working for the Erie Commodores and John Melody. There is no better place, I promise you, because I was there the last time, and I think the eight years ago when the U.S. wasn't even in it, there is no better place to watch the World Cup in Erie than one of the U-Pick 6, Beer House, Tap House, Public House, Harbor House, or at John Russell. I mean, truly, because you get soccer fans there, and they will have every game on. And if they don't have it on, ask them, they'll put it on.
Yeah, good places to stop and even better food to enjoy while watching those games. And your drink of choice as Suji on the far side there. Watch the speed because he can go in a quick sprint. He finds Sanchez there on the top. That time, as it was Sho Kinjo trying to make a run and get that crosser into the box. So get set here. Silva with it now. They'll try to reverse the field. Buffalo's done a great job trying to bunch the Commodores up here through the opening few minutes.
That was a nice job, though. Nice ball across the field. We'll see what Peterson can do.
Perry will play it. A little give and go. That one a little too far that time by Takuchi. No reverse fields. Ustamante will play it back to Bavon, who will quickly get it across and get it to Kinjo. Not quite the early pressure we've seen from a couple of games from the Commodores. But I guess when you're playing the second of back home and home, these two teams quite familiar with play, having just played recently. As Takuchi, wow, great slide tackle there that time.
Well, and look, Buffalo is tired of being winless. They're tired of losing and losing handily, so they came in off the bus or van or whichever mode they came in here, fired up, and obviously they're going to play their best soccer early in this game, and it will continue if they can get off to a good start. Nice job, though, by Perry in traffic.
As we continue along here, as Sanchez, what a ball there. He has Suji there waiting, but offside.
I was going to say, I didn't think he was on. That was a late call, but we couldn't see the ref on the near side here on the side, so my guess is he had that flag up.
Nearly as we hit the 10th minute of action here at Saxon Stadium.
It feels like we're in the tropics with this warm weather and the big breeze. The only thing missing for parts of Erie today was electricity. But other than that, I mean, I got out, it felt like I was in Florida. It was great.
Hey, we'll take a nice little haze at times this morning when I went outside.
A year ago, if you remember, in early June, it was like 90 and humid for like 10 consecutive days. Nice ball to the near side.
Yeah, as Takuchi will try to catch up to this one. He does. He has pressure defensively. We'll see if he can get the cross. He'll drop it back. Perry there with a good look. He cuts it inside, a little give and go, and he just could not connect. As that time, Perry had it roll off his foot, and then Keegan Herman just escorted it out, and that'll set up a goal kick.
Yeah, beautiful passing, and Perry with just a mishit off the side of his foot there. Tried to control it, and instead of controlling it, kicked it out. But right idea.
I know we do have some 90s coming up at the end of this week, so if you're a fan of the Heat here locally, it's coming your way. As Commodores play it. Perry again, right in the center of the attacking third. As the Commodores will play it to Takuchi on the near side. Surveys. A lot of east-west play early on here for the Commodores as Suji Plays it back to Bavon. Now with it. Sanchez tried to turn and find a run there for Takuchi.
That was a break because I think that would have been offside if that had come through. So actually a break for the Commodores.
With it now, Bustamante, who's no stranger of playing here at Saxon Stadium, a member of the Mercyhurst Lakers Division I program. This one sent in. We'll see if Takuchi can stay on side. He does.
I mean, how about the job by Takuchi on the fly to play it off of his toe and put it at his feet? That is a sensational job to control that pass on the fly.
Alvar Silva with it now. Gets it to Takuchi with a good look, but coming in late that time was Ben Schmidt to deflect it away. That'll set up a corner on the near side.
I mean, those ball skills are just, you can't teach that, truly, no matter how many times you practice it. And it looks like it'll be Perry again to take the corner.
Well, it's one thing to have the ball skills. It's another thing to have the speed and the combination of both.
Right.
They have that with both wingers between Takuchi and then Masaki Tsuji on the other side.
And with Takuchi, there's no ball that's out of his range. You can just pummel it down there. He'll run under it before it goes out.
Perry sends this one in a little far. Tovar tried to connect with that one. It'll bounce off him, and it will go out of play. That'll set up a throw-in for Buffalo. As we'll get set here. Throw in from the Buffalo Stallions, who again just have one goal on the year, and that coming off the foot of Max Voyer, the defender for these this group that's in its second season. They joined the NPSL last season, so trying to establish themselves in play here in the Great Lakes Conference.
And we were teasing the World Cup. We'll have John Melody on at halftime to give actual analysis to what may or may not happen as it pertains to the United States men's national team.
Can usually tell the Spaniards, France every once in a while.
Well, the U.S. team played a friendly in Chicago today. Good to see Soldier Field. Good to see somebody using it.
Yeah. And won't be for much longer.
They lost 2-1 to Germany. I have no idea who played how many regulars or whatnot. And Egypt was playing Brazil in Cleveland. A friend of mine was at that.
As this one thrown on to VAR, boy, that patented just head side toss, trying to get it there, and nearly had his 5th goal of the year.
This is reminding me, though, of the previous home game. You know, just keep firing it in. Good things will happen. I think you've got to be very happy with the way things have turned so far. Once again, the entire match so far essentially being played in this end.
Yeah, I don't think we've had seen Tim Teicher.
They played it back to him once, right at the beginning, but there was no threat of any kind.
It's just hard. This group comes in waves, and they'll have reserves file in later in this game, and they keep coming. So the U.S. losing to the Germans today.
2-1, yes, as I saw it. And I'm sure they'll explain why it was a great result for the U.S. somehow. But, again, I have no idea who played which regulars. I mean, if I was Germany, I wouldn't treat that like an NFL preseason game, to be honest. Same with the United States, for that matter.
So you'd be like the L.A. Rams, huh?
Right.
As that time, Silva is onside. As he has that one, the pressure comes. But, boy, he was even surprised that he had as much space as he did. Has a great ball again and room to run. That one knocked out, so that'll set up Perry for his 3rd corner kick of the match.
That was an outstanding job by Diebold 16 to just take that away. Ends up with a corner, but it looked like that might be an easy avenue to the net. That was a great defensive play.
Perry will set things up here. He sends it into the box, right in front, bounces around, and the header and a goal. As that one coming from Masaki Tsuji in a 1-0 lead in the 15th minute. So the Commodores get on the board early in this one. Comes in the 15th minute of action. And for Tsuji, his 2nd in as many home games. Tsuji came up with the 2nd goal last time.
Goal scored by number 22, Masaki Tsuji.
Masaki Tsuji was not with the club early in the season. He missed the friendly against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, but he has been a staple of this front line since, as he's a native of Tokyo, Japan. He's played at Barton Community College. In 2025, he had 16 goals at Barton, third team NJCAA All-American. So he knows how to find the back of the net. And he does just that here in the 15th minute of action. As the restart here gets underway, but the Commodores quickly back with possession.
And credit Perry, first assist of the season off a very nice corner kick. It ricocheted around. I'll give him, we'll look at the stats sheet later, ricocheted around, but I'll give Perry the assist off the corner on that one.
Commodores picking up right where they left off. As we mentioned in the meeting up in Buffalo, they had quite a second half as they fell behind and trailed 1-0. And then they had goals in the 54th, 72nd, 80th, and 89th. Citron with those final three for the natural hat trick.
Again, as if you missed the open, as opposed to the unnatural. By the way, that'd be a great name for a band, the Unnatural Hat Trick.
The Unnatural Hat Trick.
There you go.
You are helping teams.
Boy, that's a great ball.
Silva showing why he is up for Player of the Month as he gets it to Suji, looking for his second. As he just toying with the defender, seeing if he can make a move. He'll try to find Perry, lets it go to Silva. They'll play it over to Bustamante. Now Takuchi with it. Trying to just throw it in there, Silva. As we'll play along here, we are approaching the 18th minute. As Takuchi with it, he'll round out, send it there. Oh, great play there by a sliding, that time coming from Max Voyer, who has the lone goal for this club, to try and deflect that, or there would have been a great chance for Alex Sanchez.
This whole run has been set up by that beautiful ball from Silva now nearly a minute ago. And it's going to end there, but it was from, like the near side hash 30 all the way down into the corner. He could not have walked over there and placed the ball at Suji's feet any better. It's why he is up, as you said. It's not just the goal scoring for NPSL Player of the Month. Go to npsl.com/POTM to vote for number 7.
We also want to mention, as we have different shots here throughout the crowd and everything like that tonight, St. George Lancers soccer teams are in attendance here at Saxon Stadium at St. George Soccer Night. The JV team, they won the championship. The varsity team finishing as runner-up. So congratulations to both clubs on quite the season.
And I'm not still bitter that in 7th grade we lost in the final to St. James because they shortened the width of the field over at St. James Place.
Did they call that field gate back then?
I don't recall, but there were a lot of angry people, myself included. But, I was in 7th grade. You got to let it go eventually. 8th grade, we lost to OLC. That was actually my fault. Our goalkeeper went on vacation, and so we had no goalie, and somebody else had to play goalie. I had to play sweeper, and I got burned a couple of times.
Great job there as Teicher just moments ago had that miss hit, but luckily the Commodore was able to catch up to it as Charlie Peterson with it now. He'll play it up. A little miscommunication between he and Perry, but here comes Tovar trying to put pressure on the Stallions' back line. Takuchi plays it over to Bavon. It's interesting. We see Bavon in there tonight. Martin Baudelaire has also been another staple of this group. He's not starting tonight.
No, he's been outstanding, and he'll start filling up the score sheet in no time. We had a little bit of a nickel dimer there as Erie sets it up.
Yeah, Bavon had a nice goal that was not in the regular season opener here against Niagara 18-12.
That was the one where we weren't quite sure why it was disallowed, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And I guess there was an offside. We didn't see anyone raise the flag, but evidently somebody did. But it was a gorgeous goal.
It was a strike. He has quite the foot from the back end for these Erie Commodores as he comes over here from France.
And may feel like he's in the south of France with this warm, breezy weather. It's not exactly Nice, but we do have a beach.
We do. France, maybe one of the favorites in this one for the World Cup.
That's going to be a free kick. That was pretty obvious. That
was pretty obvious that time.
But see, a ref there, they could, in theory, pull out a card for a yellow. It's a hard foul, but a clean play. You move on. I appreciate their restraint throughout this season.
Yeah, that was Bustamante, I believe, on the infraction for the Commodores. That'll set things up here for one of the first potential threats from the Buffalo Stallions as we reach here into the 21st minute.
Yeah, they had a free kick right around the same point in the field, but on the near side instead of over on the far side, and they weren't able to get very far. We'll see if any different here. Again, going into a stiff wind.
Yeah, Commodores playing with the wind right now. They'll reset here.
And that always helps because when that sun goes down is usually when the wind goes down, so you always want it in that first half.
Boy, you should have thought about a career in meteorology.
I took a class from a prominent local meteorologist at Penn State, Barron. It was very entertaining, but quite a bit harder than I thought for a science elective. I had two choices. My mom taught the one science course. I wasn't going to take that, so I took a prominent long-time meteorologist's class, which was a lot of fun, but
here we go.
Tough.
Great play, Masaki Tsuji, but an even better play is the next shot on net, and that is Tovar on the follow. And the goal. Julian Tovar adds to his team lead with his 5th of the year. Great pressure there that time, and the Commodores once again coming in waves. That comes in the 22nd minute, so 2 goals in just 22 minutes of action.
Well, it was a valiant effort by Bradbury putting himself out on the limb physically, but when you come out of the net, you've got to be able to smother it completely or you're going to give up a goal on the rebound. Good stick-to-itiveness by Tovar.
So a 2-0 lead for these Erie Commodores as they keep the momentum rolling after 5 goals unanswered against this Buffalo Stallions crew in the matchup up in Buffalo, as they add to it here with 2 early ones. If you're just joining us, Tovar adding 1 there. The first goal coming off the foot of Masaki Tsuji, his 2nd goal at home in as many games. Tovar has goals in 3 consecutive dating back to the game last Thursday against Rochester, New York FC Academy. So he had the PK of that one that closed out the scoring. He also had a goal, the opening goal for the Commodores against Buffalo to even things up at 1 apiece. And he has the 2nd goal here tonight.
And again, you can't fault Bradbury there. He made a nice play. And when you do that, your only hope is that you're going to have a teammate that's near you that can step into the net and somehow deflect it. But obviously wasn't the case.
Well, it starts with just the great pressure in a wave.
Right,
there was 7 or 8 Commodores that got up to that front line, and they held it to make sure it was onside. And the defense just kind of let Bayberry kind of out to dry.
Well, and they couldn't get back in time. That's just the speed advantage. I mean, that is one thing that is, if you're not a soccer fan or you just come to the game, the one thing that anyone notices is that ball goes underneath the you got to be careful. There may be a raccoon or something under there. But it just jumps off the page at you how much faster Erie has been thus far, again, than as opposed to the opposition. Maybe with the exception of that friendly against a Pittsburgh, a very talented Riverhounds 2-ball club that they had a friendly with earlier.
Well, and that was where you're still trying to get the roster
together.
Sure,
yeah. I mean, they had some of these key players weren't even on the team yet.
Including Takuchi and Masaki Tsuji, who had yet to join the team with graduation and classes finishing up. Silva throws that one into the box, but it'll just roll towards Bayberry. See, we talked moments ago about your meteorology class. I too took one, but then it was also an astronomy combined in that. So Commodores come with Perry here.
Boy, Perry's been all over the place. Already has an assist.
As he tries to reverse things, drop kick here, but couldn't get it to Silva, and the Buffalo Stallions will clear. Try to get it ahead to Voyer, but Teicher will come out and play it.
Got to give credit to Ani Jadu with a great play defensively here on the near side. Number 12 for Buffalo did a nice job to take it away, but it's just so frustrating if you're Buffalo. You make a nice defensive play, and then boom, immediately the ball is right back in your own end. It's just got to be demoralizing and taxing physically.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. It's much like you see sometimes in hockey. It's just you expel so much energy in the defensive side, then you got to go to the shift change. Has another great ball there, that time by Tsuji, who will find Silva on the run. Delays. We'll see if he can get the crosser. Feeds it back to Tsuji, looking for a second. He is stopped, though, and thwarted by a number of defenders, but Tovar stays with it. Takuchi.
Ooh.
as he got a hand up there, and I believe that one's going to draw a card.
Yeah, well, I mean, it certainly wasn't intentional, but Jadu with a great defensive play, and he got smacked right in the face, unintentionally, obviously, by Takuchi. I don't know that it will get a card because it was not on purpose. We'll see, but, I mean, he was coming by and just turned right into it. Yeah, he will. Good call there. So those things happen.
So Masaki Tsuji will pick up his yellow card here. He has a goal and a card here. This comes in the 26th minute. As we continue along here tonight, we want to thank our Frank Media and all his great people that make this broadcast possible with the great camera work, great graphics, and everything that makes this feel like a top-notch broadcast. Our Frank Media, one of the staples in terms of local media companies in town. Thank him and his staff. Also want to thank Lecom, the main sponsor here for Erie Commodores soccer all season long, and bringing you Erie Commodores soccer right to your home.
Second yellow of the year for Takuchi. I will say this, my class, that's all I'll say, was not with the meteorologist, with the parrot. It was not with him. It was with a different prominent local meteorologist who may have worked for his same station at one point.
Old Joey Stevens. He is now enjoying great retirement.
I believe he's still in the Erie. He was a fixture of my childhood.
I hear many great stories after a decade here in Erie. It's Charlie Peterson with it now.
He never used the puppet in Erie, though, only when he was on some Caribbean feed.
Yes,
he would have it,
OCTV, USVI News, part of the Lilly Broadcasting media contingent.
So if they could be watching us down there today. And we, for once, may have nice, the weather might be as nice up here as it is down there.
That it does. It's Tovar with a feed now to Ustamonte. Feed it across there to Sanchez. If they're streaming on ENN Plus, they can see us, Elmira, Marquette, Michigan. As this ball played into the box, look at Tovar with great body usage, but he's called off.
You know, I wonder, we'll see what happens if they get Takuchi out earlier than you would otherwise with this huge match coming up on Wednesday in Cleveland. You don't want him to get a red. Not that, you know, but just by happen, you could have another freak play like just happened, get your second yellow. So interesting to follow. I'm guessing that will coincide with the margin at halftime that Erie is up by.
As Voyer called offside there, trying to get a little bit of an advantage there, but nonetheless, he'll be called in another Buffalo chance.
The issue with the meteorology class was the class itself was really fun and interesting, but then they gave us these labs on Fridays that were brutally difficult, unbelievably difficult. It was my last semester. I needed one more science class. I had all comm classes, which I actually got all A's in. And then I got like a C- in this meteorology class that I just needed to take to graduate. And it's like, everyone was taking it as an elective. I mean, come on.
This outset of this astronomy/meteorology class, they said we're going to have to identify all the constellations. And that was where I was like, I don't know how this goes. As Masaki Tsuji with it on the far side wing catches up to that one, delays to look at this great movement here, and he just darts towards the net and sets up a corner.
Corner miscommunication there clearly on the back. Well, you just have to pray for a cloudy night when they have the practical, I guess. And well, nothing. What's up?
No, I think that professor quickly became frustrated with the class.
I mean, you have to realize, my mom told me this as a teacher, like students, when they're in your class for a major, one thing, but if they're in there as an elective, make it fun. Obviously, you don't want them to coast, but, you know, they're in there as an elective. They're not in there. This is not their chosen field. And I was not going to become a meteorologist.
As you are here today, as this ball thrown in, Tovar tried to head it home.
Miss it. See if they can take advantage. Nope.
That one cleared away as Takuchi will retreat to midfield. Saki Tsuji will play it over to Perry as they'll reorganize.
Mentioned that huge road match up in Cleveland on Wednesday. Commodores will next be home a week from tonight when they take on Flower City from Rochester, Flower City Union. That'll be 7 o'clock. If you can't make it out to Merciers, join us right here for the broadcast. But we hope to see you here. Great crowd on hand, and why not?
Yeah. Hey, the weather is held off, as we've mentioned. Flower City, a team that the Commodores already have a 2-0 victory under their belts after the Flower City club knocked them out of the postseason a year ago.
Revenge.
Revenge tour? Should that be like the playoff
No,
shirts?
that was a Jim Harbaugh phrase at Michigan. The phrase Marcus Freeman is using this year is "leave no doubt." So we'll see if that comes to fruition. But and that was a heartbreaking loss because it was actually a 2-goal overtime loss.
Takuchi with it, the crosser into the box. He has Perry there, but couldn't get the bounce calculated, or he would have had a strike to the back of the net, but another great opportunity.
It's just a brilliant cross by Takuchi. We're talking about his speed, his ability to put the ball at his feet, and there you see on a dead sprint, a gorgeous cross right to the intended receiver, just couldn't quite connect.
Well, and he's usually the natural goal scorer. He played at Barton College here, and he had 16 goals to lead the group. He was also there with defender Sho Kinjo. So a couple of Barton College players here for John Melody's club. And Jack, I don't think we can talk enough about the first-year job by Catalin Nastuda. We talk so much about the great play of the players, the fact that he has gotten this team to combine so much. And look at that back kick flip by Tovar, tried to find Takuchi.
Well, and what's been remarkable to me is it looks like these guys have been playing together for years. And they literally just came together, all told, before week one. You've seen guys, you mentioned, Sumner and Charlie Peterson. Some of these guys have been around, but the fact that they have such great chemistry in such a short amount of time, and I realize everyone has to do that, but that they've been so good at it is remarkable.
Here's a feed in the speed here from Tsuji as he tries to boot home his second, but a great job on the defense by Buffalo.
Yeah, just couldn't quite get a good enough moment of separation there on that one.
Tovar with it. Play a little pitch and catch now. I believe that was with Sanchez. Takuchi with it. Surveys, and just a great little feed there. Silva catches up to it. Gets it to Perry. As with it now, Ustamonte, who got the start tonight. Commodores just kind of toying right now with Buffalo, setting things up, seeing where they can try and strike again. Already with 2 goals, Masaki Tsuji and Julian Tovar.
And again, just continuing what we've seen at home all season, no scoring threat of any kind from the opposition, and it's been that way against Niagara, against Rochester. It's been that way for the most part on the road for this club as well, but we get an offsides there. I mean, it's just so, I mentioned it earlier, it's so physically and emotionally taxing for the opposition when they're constantly on their heels, constantly being pressured, and that's what good conditioning and good spacing can do, and that's exactly what Erie does do.
Well, and that goes to our halftime guest and owner John Melody and his crew to find the right players to get in here, and he has just a wealth of connections and knowledge about players playing at all different levels across the country.
I mean, and to find guys from Japan and France, and it's just unbelievable. England, I mean, it's remarkable where they find these guys.
Has the feed ahead here as Masaki Tsuji trying to get it, but again, great job by the Buffalo defense. Do want to remind you, if you aren't already, head over to Facebook and Instagram. Follow Erie Commodores FC on social media. That way you have the up-to-date alerts on voting, like Player of the Month for Alvaro Silva, where you can head over to npsl.com. And you'll have the links to the road games as well on how to watch when this crew hits the road.
Yeah, these college football coaches are complaining because they have to re-recruit their rosters every year, and I sympathize with them. It's kind of absurd, but they're not having to go worldwide necessarily. I mean, every once in a while LSU has a punter from New Zealand, but I mean, it's the amount of work it goes into in recruiting college soccer teams and these teams is incredible.
The infraction there, that time I believe Bay Vaughn got tangled up with a member of the Buffalo Stallions, and that was Voyer. That'll set up a free kick. The third time they've had a free kick. We'll see the first 2 unsuccessful for the Stallions. They try to get this one. Voyer's there in the box, but a great job that time by Takuchi. We'll see if Perry, that was Silva, I believe.
Oh, nice.
And here comes Tovar with plenty of space to run. He'll feed it to Sanchez. Over to Suji. So he's trying to stay off sides and feed. Silva tries to catch up with it, but Bayberry comes out in that time, able to corral it, not allow a rebound.
I think Tovar a little bit too unselfish there. They sort of let the defenders catch up. I think if he just keeps going down that line, may have been a better result, but you can't fault him for wanting to get the teammates involved to try to get across.
36th minute of action here from Saxon Stadium. Do want to remind you, we'll have John Melody, the owner of the team here, and John Russell Brewing Company joining us at halftime to talk all things World Cup. Set the stage for just 5 days from now when things get underway, June 11th.
I don't think they're using any of the venues they used in '94. Many of them are not standing anymore, but
yeah. Philadelphia, Boston, I think LA.
Well, yeah, Foxborough's gone. I mean, I guess the Rose Bowl's still there, the Cotton Bowl's still there, but they're going to different venues in those areas.
Yes, respective areas. Although SoFi, I think their workers unionized a strike earlier this week.
Jeez. Well, and I saw that at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, they had to use a diamond cutter to cut out like the first 10 rows of seats to fit the pitch. I thought they were going to build a platform over it, but I guess it was cheaper to just cut out the seats.
They also had to take the GHEA off of the stadium. I don't know the background behind that.
The what?
So it's GHEA Field at Arrowhead
Stadium.
Oh, right,
yeah. Well, FIFA controls all the sponsorship rights, so any previous sponsorships there's just like the Olympics, they have to cover them up.
As Silva that time with a beautiful kick, and that Tovar looking for his second, caught a piece of the Stallions defender coming back, but what a great job by Silva once again.
Just a gorgeous pass by Silva. It doesn't get any better than that. Again, that's just one of those unlucky ones. You do it again, you get a goal.
Bavon retreats to take the ball there. You have to commend the Commodores have had chances, but I don't know that they've have been as high quality as we saw the last time here at Saxon Stadium with Rochester, New York. The defense here for the Stallions have done a decent job at thwarting some of the looks here for the Commodores.
Yeah, there's no, like I said, they know what their record is. They didn't want to come in here and leave with another 0 in the win column. They are playing very hard. You're right.
Perry with a drop kick there, and that time a shot, I believe, by Suji, deflected away. Boy, Perry has distributed like one of the all-time greats. As here comes Buffalo, Charlie Peterson tried to get it, but here comes the Buffalo Stallions. Teicher gets it, and he gets a foot on it to thwart that chances. All alone coming in that time was Ani Jado.
Teicher's down, favoring his ankle, and he appears to be in discomfort. Hopefully he's okay. I didn't really see what happened.
So
he's really hurt. This is not good.
Yeah, that time it was Ani Jado that got past Charlie Peterson, and he threw out an ankle that I believe he got a piece of the ball. But they'll work on him here as we will be just back in just a moment here. You're watching Erie Commodores Soccer presented by LeCom. We welcome you back here to Saxon Stadium as the first great opportunity for the Buffalo Stallions was thwarted by Tim Teicher, but right afterwards he went down, and they continue with the medical staff here to work on him. And it looks like it might be Alan Horrocks, who is yet to make an appearance here at home as they're getting the backup keep ready. As Teicher is up, walking around, we'll see if he stays in this one. He is in distress. As we'll see, Teicher still walking around trying to see if he can walk this one off. Again, probably about 5 or so minutes, 5 to 8 minutes before.
Well, in an odd way, the hope is that it actually was a kick and not something structural, which is my guess is what ended up happening there. It's hard for us to tell because he was obviously behind the play. He made a sensational play, and looks like they are going to make a change here.
Yeah, that's going to be Alan Horrocks coming in, so this will be his first appearance at Saxon Stadium.
The Argentinian and a member of the Marshall Thundering Herd Division I program. I don't remember. I think they're in the Atlantic Sun now. I'm not 100% sure, but
again, those would be one of your great pools.
Down in Huntington, West Virginia.
Yeah, he also spent time. Started his college career at USF, then spent the last 2 seasons at Gardner-Webb. 18 games, 15 goals allowed, 10 clean sheets, and 13 victories. 2 years at Gardner-Webb, starting in 2024. So.
Yeah, we don't stop it.
As we have along, Horrocks will take over for Teicher. We'll see if we can get an update from Coach Nastuda as I'll head down there shortly, probably in the next couple of minutes here. Charlotte E. Peterson plays it back.
And they're going to have 5 or 6 minutes of extra time after that injury. And again, the good news is it looked like he was all right. Now he's got his foot up on the trainer's table, looks like with some ice, but was able to put some weight on it. So hopefully it was just one of those things and not long term. Nice entry pass.
Yeah, here goes Perry sitting there. Tovar with it though, takes it, tries to get it over to Perry. He'll play it back, and a shot by Sanchez. The kick is good if this were a different form of football, but that one sails out of play, and that'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, it was a great pass by Suji into the middle, but a little bit tall with a one-timer.
If you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you know.
It wasn't right. It went through.
It went through.
That poor guy. I watched that 30
Scott
for 30.
Norwood?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the first thing anyone. and he had a very nice career as a kicker.
All right, I will head down to the field, get you ready for halftime. We'll talk to Coach Nastuda, and then Jack, I will join you back up here for John Melody. We'll talk World Cup soccer here coming up in a bit.
Sounds good, John. So again, we are going to have 4 or 5 minutes of extra time after the keeper injury and change, but don't want to see it this way, but excited to see Horrocks, as John Leidig mentioned, first time here in Erie, so first time I'm getting a chance to see him, although the keepers throughout this home slate, as we've mentioned throughout, have had to do very little for Erie. And now again, when they take on Cleveland and FC Ohio down the way, that will change. And again, Wednesday night at Baldwin-Wallace will be the big one for first place in the Great Lakes Conference, Erie and Cleveland. So again, if you're a Commodore fan, you don't doing anything, make the drive up, go support the squad on Wednesday night. And of course, if you go to our Facebook page, eriecommodores.com, you can, they'll have the information how to stream that match, that critical match. And of course, they will come back to Erie. Cleveland on June 26th. That's a Saturday right here at Mercyhurst, as all the games are. Played up far too far. Goal kick. Again, looking down for Teicher. He's sitting on the training table. He's, again, got ice around his foot, but doesn't appear to be in any pain. So, well, I mean, that's easy for me to say, but it doesn't look severe is the way I should phrase that. So that's good news. And, you know, tried to walk it off in an emergency, probably, we'll ask him, but suspect could have stayed in. But why not? You got a 2-goal lead, and give Horrocks a chance. Out of Marshall. Beautiful campus, underrated. Huntington, West Virginia, not the easiest place to get to. And the fiercest rivalry, I promise you, in all of college sports. They don't play in football, I don't think, or basketball, but Marshall and West Virginia, you talk about an intense, deep-seated dislike. Those two schools and fan bases, oh my. Chance in the middle, Erie looking to get one here as we approach the 45th minute.
Yeah, hey, Jack, we're down here on the field, and they still have Tim Teicher up. It does not look like he's going to be coming back into this one here tonight. But, again, we'll talk to Coach Nastuda at halftime to see what he has to say about it.
So I guess they're going to wait until the second half to award the extra time, perhaps. So that is the end of the first half, 2-0. That's why they didn't signal me how much extra time there would be, I suppose.
It's been an interesting first half here, but one again for the Commodores. Plenty of great opportunities there, Jack, is, of course, Suji and Tovar both adding goals in that first half. You got to be happy if you're Coach Nastuda.
Absolutely, and again, with the chances, the fact that they've dominated the field position throughout this match, and again, unlucky at times, some great passing in front of the net, some instances where they weren't able to capitalize, but that was more, again, bad luck than anything else. Commodores, I think, once again, very satisfied. And, again, demoralizing for Buffalo, having to be on your heels the entire match, essentially, playing the game in your own end.
Well, I think the big part, too, is you continue to see the great wing play from Masaki Suji and Rikito Takuchi, but then also you get some other guys into the starting lineup tonight. Will Perry, I thought, was sensational in that opening half and his ability to distribute.
Yeah, Perry was great, had his first assist of the season, beautiful corner kick, and rattled around, and they were able to get on the board 1-0. And, yeah, Perry's been outstanding. Actually, both, as he said, a couple of nice episodes where he's able to take the ball away or keep possession for the Commodores. So it's been again more of the same for Erie, and we'll see how they're able to come out. I'll be interested to see. It's unfortunate circumstances how Horrocks looks, and is he going to get threatened there in net in the second half?
Yeah, and this is the second time he has seen Buffalo in as many games. He, of course, got the start up there in Buffalo and gave up the the first goal of the season for this Erie Commodores team. So we'll see how he tries to rebound here in the second one. Did have a clean second half of play as we have Coach Nastuda coming in here. Coach, first of all, what are your big takeaways from that opening half of play?
Not enough intensity with the ball. Yeah, we want to go forward, but you cannot see that there's real desire. We have it, we try to go, but it's not real.
Would you like to see maybe a little more selfishness from some of the players? I think Tovar here had a good opportunity for a run and just maybe fire some more on that.
Definitely. As I say all the time, with the chances we're going to create them, but we need to finish them and we need to be selfish to take them, actually.
Obviously, we see, unfortunately, there at the end of the half, Tim Teicher comes out. Any update on his injury status at this point?
I have no idea, but with the squad that we have, no matter who you call, number 2, number 3, all the guys show up and they actually do a good job. So we have no problem putting anyone.
All right. Coach Nastuda, thanks so much. We'll see you,
Thank you
after the game. A 2-0 lead for the Erie Commodores right now. We will be right back, and we'll talk to the owner of the Commodores, John Melody, coming up here. You're watching Erie Commodores Soccer, presented by LECOM.
Isn't a single moment. It's a shared ribbon that bends through the years. It binds us to the things and people we love most. One insurance company knows this because they live it. For more than 100 years, we've been with your family for the moments that matter most. Then, now, always. Erie Insurance.
LECOM is among the nation's largest and most applied to medical schools. We expand the boundaries of medical knowledge, challenging our students and preparing them to realize their potential. With 4 campuses nationwide and over 17,000 alumni, you can become part of the next generation of LECOM graduates. At LECOM, we make doctors.
At John Russell Hospitality, every restaurant tells a story of flavor, community, and unforgettable moments. From handcrafted meals to welcoming spaces, we bring people together around a table. John Russell Hospitality, where great food meets genuine companionship. Make sure to visit one of our 6 locations today.
All right, we welcome welcome you back here to Saxon Stadium. Halftime, a 2-0 lead for the Erie Commodores. Masaki Tsuji, Julian Tovar with goals for the Commodores. The unfortunate news, Tim Teicher leaves the game. Alan Horrocks is in for the rest of the match. But we are joined by the owner of the Erie Commodores, and that is John Melody. John, a big week coming up in the soccer world as we kick things off for the World Cup. Just talk about the excitement for you and for the world of soccer as we get another year.
I mean, we just saw the U.S. play Germany this afternoon, and Soldier Field looked magnificent, you know what I mean? So did Charlotte last week when we saw the U.S. playing there. So the stadiums look fantastic. The crowds look good so far, so we'll see what happens. I mean, the U.S. showed in patches today that they're quite good, but, you know, it's a silly loss, but that's okay. I think the U.S. look reasonably ready for Friday night.
And, of course, the place to watch them if you don't have an extra couple grand to go to one of the matches is You Pick Six. I was there 4 years ago. I was there 8 years ago when the U.S. wasn't even involved. And all the free water, too, by the way, as opposed to FIFA, and great food and drinks, absolutely. What about this U.S. Ball Club? There you go. Exactly. You and I were talking off the air, the U.S. with a friendly today, 2-1 loss to Germany. And then what about their group? Is this a manageable group for the United States men's team?
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of teams that show a lot of parity, and I think the World Cup really will kick off when it gets to round 32. There's a few games in the in the round of 48 and the group stages that are exciting, but there's just not enough of them. So I think we're easing our way into this World Cup with 48 teams, but some really good matches going to be in the round of 32, and I think that's really when the World Cup's going to kick off.
Is there a group that you're like, boy, that's going to be a tough group to advance from?
Not really.
Not really?
No group of death this year.
Nobody's even talking about a group of death.
Yeah.
I think, the fact that there's 48 teams, a lot of teams got added this time around, there is no real group of death. I think it's going to be easy for some teams, to get into the round of 32, so some better players might get rested early on. So, again, I don't see this thing really getting good for another 10 days or 2 weeks, but when it gets good, it's going to get very good.
There's been so much talk about hosting the event. I haven't heard that much talk about the team, the U.S. men's national team. How good do you think they can be? And is there added pressure, or is the fact that they're hosting, I assume there's more pressure on them, right, having it here?
There is pressure on. I mean, listen, they're carrying the torch for the whole nation, right? But at the same time, the fact that you're in your home country, you're familiar with it, logistically you're familiar with it, it's comfortable, you'll have family and friends around, it'll be very familiar to them. I think that's a huge bonus for players. We always hope that the home country does well because, it just adds to the excitement. But you saw some of the players today. Listen, you saw Robinson score a goal out of the top drawer today against Germany. Pulisic looked very good. He got great credit for getting that corner that got him that goal. So McKinney looked good today too, So and they played some players that, are on the fringe. So listen, the US are, I'm hoping they can get to the last 16, maybe the last 8, and we'll see how it goes.
So are the people at Fox, incidentally. They are too.
No, we all are.
Absolutely.
In the bar business, I'm definitely.
Oh yeah.
For that. But reasonably, I think I think they can get there.
Well, and the whole country. I mean, I remember that year Landon Donovan scored the goal to put the U.S. into the knockout round. It was like the whole country was raw. The excitement was unbelievable.
I think once it gets going, people row in behind it. Listen, I've said this many times. There's not a lot of chances in sports in this country for you to shout for your nation.
Sure.
All right, so people should be able to, get behind the U.S. and get behind the team and the country, and hopefully this goes well and promote soccer to a level that just people keep playing and keeps getting bigger and bigger.
John, I know we talked on Erie News Now a couple of weeks ago, and you said you still needed some time to evaluate the rosters.
Right.
As we get set here just a couple of days away, are there maybe a couple of teams that you'll think could have the shot to take this thing home?
Well, I think, people say Spain and France overriding favourites, right? A lot of people are kind of feel like it's between the two of them. Then in the next kind of breath, people will say there's England and there's Brazil and there's Argentina, maybe Portugal. But for me, I think the one team we got to keep a little bit of an eye on is, I'll go out on it. It's not a huge limb here, but let's keep an eye on the Dutch. I think they're well balanced.
Really?
They got a lot of good players. They got a good bench. All their players are playing at a very, very high level. And as far as I know right now, they're all fit and healthy. So that's a huge part of it. So they'll be in my little. I mean, I think France. We'll see the Dutch as the dark horse.
And they don't have wooden cleats, I suspect. There are no wooden shoes for the Dutch soccer team. What about our game?
They might in a couple of the prelim games.
There you go. Right. What about our game here? Commodores controlling things early on, looking good. They've looked so good this season. Your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of possession, right? We're winning 2-0 here at halftime and 2 good goals. A lot of possession, a lot of good passing, and team is patient and it waits for its openings, and we'll see how the second half goes. But right now, a lot of pressure. We're nicely balanced in a lot of positions, and there's a very good squad here this year. So we have the tough half of the season to come. We're halfway through after today. Hopefully we can close this out and finish. We'll be 6-0 for 6 games, but we still have to play Cleveland twice. We still have to play Ambassadors twice. So the second half of the season is going to test us here.
What's it like to see a group like this come together? Because we've talked about it the first couple of games, you'd still feel it out, but this is a group that seems like it's almost played together for years in the way they can find each other across the pitch.
It is, and there's a lot of confidence out there, and obviously in any sport, winning breeds confidence, and these guys are working hard and training hard, and they're happy to go out there. They all seem to really like the style of play that Kata has on playing, and we have a big game now away to Cleveland on Wednesday night, and that'll be a huge test for us. And I will, I'll have a real good gauge on this team because that'll be a bit of a fight.
Yeah, 2 undefeated teams. I mean, that will be for first place in the Great Lakes Conference again, and then they come back here in a couple of weeks. So, as you mentioned, it's really going to get real, to borrow a phrase here, in the second half of the season.
It is, and the first half of the season is good. We're nicely positioned and everything like that, but we're only halfway through. We've only 50% of a job done, so we have more to do.
We'll see how the momentum builds. John Melody, the owner of the Erie Commodores, joining us here as you get set. The place to go, John Russell Brewing Company and the U-Pick 6 to watch all the World Cup action as well. We'll have second half action from Saxon Stadium here. Coming up, this is Erie Commodores Soccer, presented by LECOM.
John Russell Hospitality, every restaurant tells a story of flavor, community, and unforgettable moments. From handcrafted meals to welcoming spaces, we bring people together around a table. John Russell Hospitality, where great food meets genuine companionship. Make sure to visit one of our 6 locations today.
Visit Erie, Good Life, Great Lake.
Life isn't a single moment. It's a shared ribbon that bends through the years. It binds us to the things and people we love most. One insurance company knows this because they live it. For more than 100 years, we've been with your family for the moments that matter most. Then, now, always. Erie Insurance.
Welcome you back to Saxon Stadium here on the campus of Mercyhurst University for second half action. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, if you're just joining us, a 2-0 lead for the Erie Commodores. Masaki Tsuji got the scoring started. That was in the 15th minute, and then Julian Tovar with his team-leading 5th goal of the year. That came in the 22nd minute off a corner. The only unfortunate news from that first half was that Tim Teicher left. He had the only opportunity for the Buffalo Stallions as that came off the foot on a semi-breakaway from Ani Jadu. Kicked out a ankle and from there went down and he had to leave. Alan Horrocks will continue to be the keeper here tonight. We heard from Coach Nastuda. No update on what the injury status is, but he'll depart here tonight, and he's confident.
Out. That's the status. Out.
Yes.
Once you're out, you're out. So we'll see. Again, it looked like he was in one piece, so hopefully it's not anything that lingers because, as John mentioned, we have this huge game. John Melody mentioned. I want to refer to you as John sitting right here. As he mentioned, this huge game coming up on Wednesday up at Baldwin Wallace, Trestle Field at Baldwin Wallace, as they take on Cleveland for first place in the Great Lakes Conference. So be interesting to see what Horrocks can do, and interesting to see what Erie can do if they can get a quick goal here and really sort of relax and play loose in the second half and get deep into their bench as well.
Yeah, they've done a good job coming out of the half. This coaching staff with Coach Nastuda has done a fantastic job so far through the first half of the season and making halftime adjustments.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, they've played – I don't know if they've played better in the second half or if they've just gotten some more fortunate bounces in the second half.
Yeah, we'll see how they shape things up here in the second half. You could tell, though, Coach Nastuda, he kind of reminds me of a Bill Belichick style. You know, and his team could play fantastic for the entire half. He still doesn't love what he sees. He's still pushing for more.
I'm not going to comment on Bill Belichick. I don't want to get in trouble, other than to say it's going to be a long year for the North Carolina Tar Heels football program. But just move on, because I'm going to get in trouble if I start talking about Bill Belichick.
All right. But no, Coach Nastuda has done a great job in his first year. An assistant at Point Park. He's up here. John Melody joins him. But, yeah, you could hear he thought they were good, not great in the first half.
Well, I think he was right. I mean, I think the passing was great. I think that the finishing was probably B minus. So, look, as a coach, the best thing is always to have a win, and a win you can complain about, because you have the win and you can focus on something in practice. You play perfectly. Sometimes the team can rest on their laurels. I don't think either way that's going to be a problem. This team's going to have the utmost focus going to Berea on Wednesday.
So we await as the teams make their way out for the second half action. Again, we'll see if they add any extra time. They were done.
Well, at the back end, again, I think what you'll see is, because when there was the keeper injury, they didn't have any extra time. If Erie does pull away with this thing and they're up 4-5, 6-0, I think they'll just say, hey, get back on your van and head to Angola and get some of that good food at that famous rest area that goes over I-90.
Yes, they do a great job with that renovated Angola rest stop that now has.
Because when you stop your car, you want to spend as much time as possible, right? Like, you got to walk all the way across the interstate. I mean, it's just like you want to get a sandwich and get back on the road. So it's a marvel. That and Breezewood are the two things I could wonder about forever. Those two bizarre instances on interstate highways.
Maybe a future podcast.
There you go.
Discussion.
Yeah.
For you.
You got the abandoned turnpike that starts in Breezewood. So yeah, there you go.
All right, the team warming up, as you see Alan Horrocks here. He got the start last time against this Buffalo Stallions team, so he kind of knows. But given what we saw in the first half, I don't know how much pressure or action he will see here in half number 2.
I did want to give a shout-out for Buffalo to their coach, Rudy Pompert, and the director of operations, Jeff Horner, who was up here in the booth with us before the match. Very helpful, went out of their way. Hey, do you have any pronunciation issues? Here's our roster for tonight. The numbers are all sequential and correct. And then even Coach Pompert came up here and said, hey, we got to change. I just wanted to let you know. So it's a professional operation they've got on the Buffalo side as well. Wanted to give them a shout-out.
Yeah, second year of action since joining the NPSL. Want to remind you tonight, St. George Youth Soccer Night as their JV team coming off a championship performance. And their varsity team, runners-up. Also want to mention, go follow the Erie Commodores on social media, on Facebook and Instagram. Erie Commodores FC, the places to be. And if you're looking for some new swaggers, you get ready for the second half of the season, these big matchups coming up. There is the new Heritage Collection for a limited time only. Head to eriecommodores.com to take a look at that and purchase yours for a potential deep playoff run, or head over to Erie Apparel on West 12th Street, the place to get that Heritage Apparel, the Heritage Collection, I should say. And tonight's, we want to say thank you to tonight's match sponsor, that is Erie Insurance Group, a staple for more than a century here in the Erie region.
Boy, their campus has almost gone all the way over to Parade Street. It's like creeping further. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's remarkable, the expand. I mean, of course, it's a Fortune 500 company and known worldwide, but what they've done in Erie, it's remarkable how they keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger there in downtown Erie.
Well, and it's not just their footprint in terms of their structures and that. It's their investment into the community.
Absolutely.
The amount of work that they do for sponsorships and money that they allocate to charities around the region. They have been a staple of this group.
I mean, if they didn't put their name on that arena, that's going to be offside.
Yes.
If they didn't put their name on that arena, I don't know if some of the things they did, like the scoreboard, the nice lounge area they have up above the one end at Erie Insurance Arena, formerly the Erie Civic Center, they did such a nice job with limited resources, really, and with Erie Insurance's help with the naming rights.
Yeah, and that time, I believe we have a new player in on the far side, as I'll wait to see for the Commodores. We'll wait to see you turn around because Charlie Peterson is out, so that is indeed a change for the
No,
Erie
Peterson's
Commodores.
still in there, 31. I think he's out. Isn't that him on the far side?
Yes, Peterson is still in, excuse me. But a new defender on the back end here is Alvaro Planes is in for the Commodores. Wanted to make a mention to him as he was the guy that was called for the offside there.
Planes, 1 goal on the year. And I mentioned earlier, I gave Perry an assist off that corner. It did rattle around, so, it's just like in baseball. We're not the official scorers, so, when you're talking about the assist, that's something that will be adjudicated after the match officially by the two teams and the referees. So we get a trip there, free kick Erie.
Yes, Peterson taken down that time, as it was Bennett Garrigan, the new forward in for the Stallions, called for the infraction. Peterson just savvy nature, take his time, get the shoe back on. We'll await things here. 2-0 lead if you're just joining us.
And again, the weather, and I hope I'm not jinxing anything, but I don't remember since they moved up here to Mercyhurst a bad weather game. The only delay I can remember was during the COVID year. We played a game at Cathedral Prep. It was like a 4-team event. And there was a lightning delay for that, but it seems like every match here we have gorgeous weather. We've had some heat in years past, certainly, and we will again, but the weather just perfect tonight with that nice cool breeze off the lake.
Great nights to sit around the campfire, maybe have a marshmallow, a little s'more action, just like the kids in Sandlot.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dazed and Confused. I'm more with those guys.
Oh, okay. How can I have some more yet? How can I have some more if I haven't had any yet? No? Not a baseball?
How do you not know who Babe Ruth? That was
an all-time. That was an all-time questionable.
I mean, how cool would that be, though, to have Darth Vader as your next-door neighbor? Not my favorite. I loved it as a kid. Not my favorite baseball movie.
It's Silva here. He has a free lane to the net. We'll see if he gets a shot off here. A little.
Got away with a push-off.
Yeah, just a bit.
It's a goal kick anyway. That was a great entry pass, though, to Silva. Commodores arguing it should be a corner. I think what's happening here is he may have realized he missed the push, so we're just going to give him a goal kick. But no harm, no foul.
Oh, yeah. If you're just joining us, too, Alvar Silva is up for NPSL Player of the Month. Head over at npsl.com/POTM for Player of the Month. He is currently second in voting, and voting ends tomorrow, so don't wait. Go over there, head over on your phone if you're watching at home.
Yeah, however many devices you have, vote on them. Again, clear the cookies. We're not asking you to do anything untoward. Call your friends, call your family, tell them to vote.
Oh, boy. What another great pool from the one and only Jack Quinn. Yeah, what was the music streaming service back in the day?
Napster.
Yes. Suji with it now. Boy, the quick dart speed that he has. Cuts it inside.
Look at that.
And fires it.
Oh, man. Weaving through 4 defenders and getting a shot off. What a remarkable effort.
he does a great job in that area quickness and those quick spurts. Able to cut back there. Reason he was one of the top goal scorers for Barton College.
I mean, if he had been able to put that thing in, that would have been one of the great goals you've ever seen. I mean, certainly for me anyway. I wouldn't make it declarative, but that was just an unbelievable. I don't know how he was able to swim through 4 different defenders there.
And the Commodores come again. Will Perry with it now. A little tug on his jersey as he'll try to get the crosser off. Can't. That'll set up a corner kick. Perry, as we talked about right before the half, a great distributor in the first half of play. We'll see if maybe he can get rewarded again. Jack has him down for an assist.
Well, it just comes out. I mean, he had it off the corner, but it rattled around there, so it'll just come down to what they, what they say after the fact.
That one headed away by the Stallions defenders.
Boy, Peterson just missed that, and I think he had a good angle on it, but just a little bit too tall, maybe about a foot.
And it's Bavon with a shot, but a better save there that time.
Brawbury diving to his left. I don't know. That thing had wicked left-to-right movement. Garbage on the ball, as my coach used to say. And that was just a brilliant save by Brawbury.
Bavon, he is just speed behind every ball he places towards the net. Nearly had another. Corner. That one, they go far, but Brawbury just punches it away. See if the Commodores can corral and regroup.
It's another nice play by the keeper, Brawbury, to punch it out, avoid the corner, and punch it away from the net.
Here on the near side as they'll get set to send it away for the throw-in. Send it to midfield, but Shokinjo plays it to Suji. They'll reverse fields to the opposite side with Peterson. Planis with it now. Let Alan Horrocks touch it. As he came in for Tim Teicher, who left with the injury late in the first half of play.
And again, like Teicher, not really threatened back there. Now, the Niagara one was poor Niagara. I mean, they were missing several key players because Niagara University's graduation was then. But, I mean, like I said, he could have been back there on a lawn chair with a Coke or something.
Planis tried to put pressure there on the run. That was a great ball into the attacking third, but there's a turnover by Brawbury right in front. Tovar with it, and then poked home there that time.
Yeah, mistake by Brawbury there. They played it back to him, and I think he was surprised, so maybe not his fault, but I think he was surprised they played it back to him. Of course, he can't use his hands in that scenario, so unfortunate, but Tovar there to clean it up.
Alvar Silva with his third goal of the year and adding to that case for the player of the month. As that time it comes in the 54th minute, so for a second straight game against the Buffalo Stallions, the Commodores score in the 54th minute. It was Jacob Anderson doing so in the game a week ago, but a 3-0 lead nonetheless, I beg your pardon, for the Commodores.
Would like to thank all of their season sponsors, including our title sponsor, Lecom, and our other major sponsors. Tonight's match presenter, Erie Insurance.
Again, with that goal, head over to npsl.com/POTM for Player of the Month. Voting ends tomorrow to try and put Alvar Silva as the NPSL Player of the Month. Now up to 3 goals and 3 assists on the year, as he has been one of the big key players for this group. He is a returning starter and somebody that knows this league well. As this one fired on, Horrocks retreats, had a little trouble with that as that one fired along, as that time it was thrown on net by Bennett Garrigan. As we continue along here.
Well, that's a pretty good case for Player of the Week, punching one in.
Player of the Month.
Player of the Month, right, sorry, yeah. That too.
Give him 2 awards for how he's played so far, as Suji with it now looking for his second, feeds it across, and Tovar right there with his second of the match as this comes in the 56th minute. And boy, the Commodores are just pouring it on now.
Tovar. And that was Suji, right, with the assist. Beautiful center.
Julian Tovar now with 6 goals on the young season in just the first half. And boy, what a product and a find he has been. The junior that just finished up at Oklahoma Wesleyan, 5'7" forward for this Commodore group. In 2025, he played in 22 games for Oklahoma Wesleyan, 19 starts. He had 13 goals and 4 assists. He was the NAIA KCAC first team all-conference honors, and he has shown why here with his performance, 6 goals on the year.
That was just a brilliant pass by Suji, by my count, his first assist of the year. Again, that's unofficial.
Yep. Yes.
But just a brilliant cross. And, you know, now you get this Buffalo team really behind the 8 ball. You're going to see it with the body language. They fought hard. They played hard. They played as reasonably well as they could have in that first half. But Erie, just too much speed, too talented. And when you play on your heels the entire match, here we go again. Chance perhaps for Silva.
Silva with a run. He's in on a partial breakaway, fires, but Braberi comes out to make the save. Boy, he has been tested early and often here in the second half. This Commodore squad certainly has taken to the notes of their head coach, Catalin Nastuda, and he wanted them to be more aggressive. That they have been.
Looks like Santiago Giraldo getting ready to check in for the Commodores. Jamie Zani as well, the Spaniard, no doubt excited for the World Cup. As they all are, of course. They're soccer players. Of course they're excited for the World Cup.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Spain and France. Do you have a wager you'll put down?
Yes, Penn State over 8.5 wins with that cakewalk of a schedule. I don't know enough. I don't know. Although I don't know what the Dutch's, the Netherlands odds are, but if John likes them and they're not a big favorite, it might be worth a little something.
Always interesting on how maybe that plays in with the new sports betting options that exist.
I just don't know hockey and soccer. How you can bet on those things, to be honest. And great effort tonight. Peterson gets a nice round of applause from the local fans. Great effort by Charlie.
Will Perry will depart for Santiago Giraldo. And
the English, of course, Perry's native country, they'll be heavily involved, as they always are as well.
Yeah, we'll see. It's always interesting. I feel like we always get a surprise. Rarely do we see the quote-unquote favorites in the limited action that I've seen over my time watching the World Cup. It usually seems like we have some kind of surprise out of nowhere.
This guy here, I'm trying to see the number, got submarined. Oh.
So they'll set the free kick up. Buffalo will take it, try to get it in there, but a great job as the Commodores.
It was Pizzino, Yanni Pizzino. He checked in at halftime for Buffalo.
Stephen Haven was the one that fired it on, but it was cleared by the defenders. That's going to be a call on Santiago Giraldo.
Jadu's had a rough night. He got slapped in the face inadvertently, and now he's down again, like a catcher that keeps taking foul tips.
Sometimes not always the grandest stage. You got to go to some areas, and that's where physicality comes. And
well, and with the World Cup, you know, sometimes you get a surprise. I remember that year that the United States went to, I believe, the Final 8, which I believe is the furthest they've ever gone, at least in, you know, within the last 80 years or whatever. I think they beat Portugal like 3-0 in the opener, just stunned Portugal, if I remember right, and set the tone for that entire run. It was the teams with like Kobe Jones and those guys.
Yeah.
And I forget the name of their Alexi Lawless. I don't know if he was on the roster. I remember their keeper, what he looks like, but I don't recall his name.
Not Tim Howard?
No, I don't think it was Tim Howard.
That would have been probably a little bit early before him. This is probably the second best opportunity that Buffalo has seen here tonight. They'll get the corner.
First corner, I believe.
Yes. throw it short, and that one sent away there that time by Bavon. You wonder within the Commodore team the different chatter that is going on between the different countrymen.
Well, that's what makes this thing so much fun. It's not just two. It's almost like, and when you go to U-Pick 6, any of the U-Pick 6 places, my favorite just for proximity is the Tap House downtown. I mean, it's going to be like an NFL Sunday at a sports bar. You're going to get one section watching England, one section. Of course, when the United States is on, that's different. But you're going to have these cheering sections throughout, and it's just going to be so much fun going into the U-Pick 6 places and John Russell Brewing to watch this stuff.
Always a great atmosphere as the different countries and communities come out as Brayberry.
One other note for the World Cup. One of the many play-by-play announcers that Fox is using is a gentleman named J.P. Delacamera. I don't know if you're familiar with him. I believe he was the one that called Brandy Chastain's winning goal, but more importantly, he was the one-time voice of the Erie Panthers hockey team back in the 80s.
Jack, your knowledge has no bounds.
In fact, they played the Blades. I'm sorry, it was the Blades. It wasn't the Panthers. The Panthers played at the Civic Center. The Blades played the Soviet national team in their last warm-up before the 1980 Olympics. I believe he was the announcer. The game was televised locally on WQLN, which is the public broadcasting station, and it is on YouTube if you want to go home and break it down tonight. I came across that. So good luck to JP. One time, another guy who started his career in Erie, Don Cricky with the Gannon Golden Knights. One time, yes.
Wow. Great wealth of knowledge.
There you go. Useless knowledge. Totally, utterly useless knowledge.
Well, I have always said that if I could remember actual key things like engineering.
Yeah, imagine if we had put our brain power to important things. We could have solved problems in the world.
Instead, we can remember statistics from the 1980s and beyond.
Give you the 95 Cleveland Indians lineup.
Here, that was a heck of a squad.
Well, it was. They lost in the World Series to Atlanta.
Not that you hold any grudges.
Not with that one, actually. 97 still sticks in my craw a little bit.
Where's 16 ranked for you?
Well, honestly, I don't even think I've dealt with that emotionally yet, and that was 10 years ago. So it's still. I haven't watched any highlights of it.
That was quite a night. As Silva with it now.
When Rajay, I was in the second deck along the first baseline.
Okay.
I still can't believe that because Rajay Davis was choked up so much on that. I still can't believe he got it out against, I believe it was Aroldis Chapman.
It was.
Unbelievable.
Masaki Tsuji changes direction again, does it once more, tries to get across.
Beautiful pass.
There it is. As Alvaro
Planis. How about putting the English on it to get it around the defender? A sensational shot by Planis.
That comes in the 64th minute, and a 5-0 lead, and the goal differential talk comes into play as well. Planis came in here to start the second half.
13, Alvaro Planis.
And now back-to-back games with 5-goal performances for the Commodores against the Buffalo Stallions. And again,
I didn't see who had the cross. We'll see if we can get that. But somebody had a great.
That was Tsuji.
Was it Tsuji? Okay,
again,
there you go.
If we didn't have Tsuji as the player of the game the last time we were here, I would hearken at him again. But
hearken, that's a good word.
Julian Tovar might have a good case. Again, don't go anywhere post-game. We will have Coach Nastuda with his final thoughts on this performance and the player of the match, as the aforementioned Tovar will depart here. Cyrus Connolly set to check in, David Citron, and I think this is Tayo Baba getting set to check in as well. Yes.
That's the second assist for Tsuji on the night. Again, unofficial. And you mentioned Citron checking in, had the hat trick in the previous outing, the 3-goal output for the Commodores against this same ball club.
So Silva, Tovar, and Ustamante all depart. So as it stands now, Silva's night likely done. No more chance to add to his Player of the Month campaign that ends tomorrow. You can go over npsl.com/POTM for Player of the Month and vote him. He currently stands second, so get out the phones, tablets, laptops, and more, and vote for Player of the Month for Alvar Silva.
But think of how demoralizing this must be for Buffalo. They're down 5-0. You've still got 25 minutes left. They're subbing in, subbing out the opposition. And here comes this guy that just scored 3 goals against you in the last game. I mean, that's just got to be like, really? Now we got to see this guy?
And Sanchez with a great feed there to try and find Suji, but a great recovery by the defenders of the Buffalo Stallions. But yes, not the biggest thing you would want to see with a 5-0 deficit at this juncture, and a guy that had, as we've learned tonight, the natural hat trick.
Yeah, yeah. And no, I don't think they have had a shot. I don't think they've had a shot, period. I don't.
Well, they had the one that Teicher got hurt.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there you go. Right.
Abney, during that one, that was when Annie Jadu had the shot there when he got past Peterson for the breakaway chance. But beyond that, that was the lone opportunity.
Guardians leading the Rangers 1-0, incidentally. You were wondering, Jose Ramirez with a solo home run.
That's okay. The Pirates have fell twice in Atlanta over the last 2 days.
They got to bring Matson back up. Their bullpen's struggling, man. Although Majinski, despite all his complaining, did a great job the other night in long relief.
That he did. The Harbor Creek native has done spectacular down in AAA Indianapolis.
So we're going to get Anthony Stokes coming in, and Matteo Pizzino into the match for the Stallions, 4 and 6 respectively.
Jadu will check out along with Stephen Haven for the Stallions. We still have 23 minutes to go. If no extra time is added, and at this juncture, I don't know that, Jack, we will see that.
Yeah, we'll see at the discretion of the referees, to be sure. But usually they kind of let it go when it's a game not necessarily in doubt like this. Of course, Buffalo used to be Cleveland's AAA team, the Bison, and then they moved to Columbus, which I guess makes more sense.
Yeah, short. A lot of these teams like to organize it, that they can have a little short trip in case of emergency recalls for a game.
And a key all-star future Hall of Famer, Tarek Skubal, making a rehab start tomorrow, and keeping with the Tigers' tradition of refusing to send key players to Erie for a rehab start. And this does not look good. And you get a quick yellow. No argument.
I believe that was Sanchez there that went down. Indeed.
I think you're right, yeah. Alex Sanchez.
Yes. When is the last time? I know there has not been a rehab for a Detroit player.
I don't remember
in my 10
any.
years
The last one that I remember was Garrett Cole for Altoona on a gorgeous Sunday when he was with the Pirates, made a rehab start.
Cookie Carrasco came here.
Yes.
Or not Carrasco, Danny Salazar.
Salazar.
Yes. There's been a couple for visiting.
For visiting. I don't ever remember Detroit sending, and I know that our friend Tom Reisenweber, that's sort of been a crusade of his through the years, longtime Seawolves beat writer, trying to get some rehab guys here. But for whatever reason, I mean, Toledo is right there, I get it, but if Toledo's on the road, and the Seawolves, in fairness, are on the road right now, but come on.
Well, typically you don't, most clubs, you don't see the rehab assignments start in AAA. They usually, it's in a low A or double A, and you work.
Well, but I think it depends really on who's home when.
Yes.
They've got Skubal pitching against the West Michigan for the West Michigan Whitecaps, which I assume is Grand Rapids. I don't know really where it is. I think they're rushing him back. That'll be interesting to see.
Well, they have about a 7-week period here to showcase him.
Well, they've got to get within about 5, I would say, to justify keeping him.
For a potential playoff
For
run.
a playoff run. They lost today 4-0 to Seattle.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of that one before we came
Oh,
over.
you had electricity at your place.
I did.
Oh,
I
good.
never lost it,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, I was talking to Chris Soule, sports director at Erie News Now, and he has an inability to even get into his apartment.
Really?
Down at Level Place in downtown Erie.
Why was it like a key card thing that's out?
Sure. I did not go into too many
Did it have anything to do with the electricity, or can he not get it for some other reason?
No.
Has he been evicted and we don't know it?
Maybe he's
This is
Jamal Adams' situation. The key card doesn't work anymore.
Nothing to do with the electricity
No,
being
I believe
out.
it was the electricity. That I at least confirmed on that front. As we play along here, if you're just joining us, let's recap the action as the scoring started. Masaki Tsuji with the opening goal of this one of the 15th minute. Just 7 minutes later, Julian Tovar with the first of a pair he had on the night. Then Alvar Silva, as his campaign for Player of the Month continued in the 54th minute as we got underway in the second half. Tovar with his second in the 56th minute, and then Alvaro Planes, the latest goal In the 64th minute, of course, the lone negative takeaway, Tim Teicher left the game after that one shot on goal, as Cyrus Connolly trying to reverse pass there. And he was replaced by Alan Horrocks, who has really just sat back there and enjoyed the cool breeze of the Erie night.
Should have a lawn chair and a sparkler out there, although I don't know that they'd want any flammable materials on this beautiful field turf. But, yeah, Suji now 2 goals, 2 assists on the night, 2 goals, 2 assists on the year. Another outstanding effort.
See who we have for post-game. Don't go anywhere. We'll have our man of the match and hear from Coach Nastuda on his thoughts on what appears to be a 6-0 start for this group. A year ago, I believe they were at 5-2, so already eclipsing last year's win total in the first half.
Well, and as John Melody said, look, the schedule is going to get tougher. They have not played yet the 2 other tough teams in this conference in Cleveland and Canton, essentially. Ambassadors is their official name.
This one thrown into the box. Cyrus Connolly goes for the header.
I think he got a fist to the face, too. No whistle, so maybe not. But that was a great job by Bradbury, going out on life and limb and everything. And not his fault that, you see 5 goals. Doesn't look great in the stat sheet, obviously. But I keep saying this. It's not the fault of any of the keepers that Erie has faced this year. It's just the constant pressure that they have faced.
Cyrus Connolly, a member of the Cayman Islands national team, if you're just joining us here this season.
I do a lot of banking there.
Oh, okay. Well, don't share any more information, or you may not be doing any banking there moving forward. As Suji still in this one, and watch the dance moves that he can put on. Sanchez will reverse it to the opposite side there where Planis awaits, already with a goal as he throws this one on.
I mean, that's a credit to the coaching, because now you have, 5 or 6 subs in, and their passing and spacing is still as crisp as it was when the starters were in the first half.
So we tick away here with under 18 minutes to go, should they not have any extra time in this one. Commodores would go to 6-0-0 on the year if this score holds, and it's not in doubt now, and they would improve their goal differential to 22 as it currently stands. They would have
it's right
23.
now at 23-1. And again, that comes into play in terms of seeding when there's ties and whatnot. And I suspect for home field as the playoffs move along, if you have a tie record as well, if you get out of your division.
So always things to keep in mind here. And the Commodores have not let off a more aggressive group, as Coach Nastuda said that he would like to see in the second half. They have done that. Again, follow the Commodores for all the updates on their Player of the Month campaigns, their season schedules, great features. Erie Commodores FC on Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow the team along with great discussions, including World Cup previews. Off the Pitch, the podcast where the Commodores live, and you can get to know all the Commodores players, coaches, and more, as you can get that over on their social media page and on wherever you watch your podcasts. Meanwhile, I want to thank again the match sponsor, brought to you by Erie Insurance. A big thanks to Lecom, the title sponsor of this Erie Commodore season, bringing these games to you, watching on the Erie Commodores YouTube page and on Erie News Now Plus. And the biggest thanks, maybe of all, is to R. Frank Media to bring this great production. He, Rob Frank, and his crew, the commitments they make here to get the equipment set up and provide all types of different elements to the broadcast that make it feel like you're watching top-notch soccer broadcast on the biggest stage here with the Erie Commodores. So that one headed away. I believe that may set up a throw-in. I don't know that it quite got to the back line. Commodores quickly throw it in here as we approach the 76th minute. Pavon will play it across now to Jacob Anderson, who's checked into this one. Planis with a run here, tries to get the crosser. Does indeed, but Suji catches up to it. He goes along the line, waits for it. Tayo Baba fires on net, but Bob Erie with a diving stop keeps this a 5-goal deficit for the Stallions out of Buffalo.
So I'm looking at the United States group.
Okay.
Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. I've got to think
Australia, maybe the.
Well, I've got to think that that's a gettable group, and they've expanded the knockout stage. So, I mean, that's really obviously you win the group, you get a better, in theory, a better prospect. But once you get to the knockout stage, anything can happen. But I've got to think that the United States should be able to move through into the knockout round.
You would hope. Crazier things have happened.
It really does. I just go back to that year when Donovan hit that, and then when they made the run to when they beat Mexico in the knockout round. It really does capture the imagination of the entire country. And the key then is to keep that excitement up after the World Cup. That's where we've struggled as a nation, and hopefully hosting it will go a long way toward that end.
Cyrus Connolly with a little sweep there. Just couldn't get enough behind it there to place home a goal.
And again, the Commodores, we mentioned that big one Wednesday in Cleveland. They'll next be home Saturday against Flower City Union out of Rochester. That's the 13th, 1 week from today, I guess, right? So hopefully you can make it out here to Saxon Stadium at Mercyhurst. If not, YouTube, Facebook, etc. will have the live broadcast for you as usual.
Citron tried to get it to Connolly. Yeah, it's amazing how quickly, too, Jack, this season goes by. You have the game here tonight, and then you only have 3 more home games that would be a week from tonight, and then on the 27th of June, and then July 3rd. Obviously, it'll be a busy weekend.
Yeah,
then.
That'll be a festive evening here. I'm glad it's an earlier start. A 5 p.m. start Friday, July 3rd. Should be a huge crowd. I'm sure they'll have those, what are those festive popsicles that are red, white, and blue? The bomb pops.
Yes.
You'll hear fireworks in the background. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You going to sing Bruce Springsteen that night for us?
Well, interestingly enough, Born in the USA is actually a protest song about the Vietnam War. It kind of gets misinterpreted as some sort of jingoistic anthem. In fact, he had to sue Ronald Reagan to stop using it at his rallies. But there are plenty of great
American
Springsteen. I mean, that's certainly one of them. I'd have to think.
What would you like to sing that night?
Glory, I won't sing anything. Glory Days is actually one of the years back when the Commodores played at Gannon, and we had a much more. We didn't have this great operation with Rob and everything. I played the music, and all I had on my old iPhone, because I just used YouTube really to listen to music back when I would actually work out, was like one Springsteen album. And I played it as the pregame music, and they won, so they kept playing it. The players didn't want to change it. It was the same 12 songs.
Suji with the feed here and a fire that time by Tayo Baba. Sanchez tries to go up, and he takes a hit to his midsection. He's still down. And they'll let this one go out of play. Sanchez still writhing in pain.
Great passing up until Sanchez is another great pass. I feel like I've been saying this all night by Suji, and we've been talking about his speed. He has made several great passes, and Sanchez, he's just going to need to walk that one off.
He pleading with the referee as to why there was no infraction called.
Well, it was behind the play. I'm not sure the refs were really looking in that direction.
He is struggling to try and walk this one off. With his armband at his wrist, he'll just probably retreat to the back end.
I thought it looks like he's holding a yellow card. I thought, did he take a yellow card from the referee? Because it's really the same color, but it is, yes, a neon band.
That would be like Lloyd McClendon taking the
bag.
A la Lou Piniella.
Right. Throwing it. My favorite was in Cleveland when Piniella kicked his hat into the stands and the fan threw it back. Oh, I miss Lou. Sweet Lou. That's the one downside to the ABS and the replay challenges. We don't get as many Donniebrooks between the umpires and the managers.
The Terry Collins video that has circulated social media. This one fired on net by Citron, and that just goes through everybody. There was a good opportunity there, I think, for Tayo Baba, maybe on the back end, along with Cyrus Connolly.
There was a minor league, I'm sure you've seen the video of a minor league manager that was so upset with the umpires, he grabbed the rosin bag and crawled up on the mound and used the rosin bag like it was a hand grenade and threw it at the umpires.
There's that. There's the great Coastal Carolina longtime coach saying his team was a bunch of cats, needed more dogs. There's a lot of great epic rants. Jim Leland had a few in his time, both with the Pirates and as this one's fired along, rebound. Suji with another shot there between his time with the Tigers and Pirates.
Too many cats and not enough dogs?
Yeah.
That's like when Jim Harbaugh said he wasn't allowing his Michigan team to eat chicken because he said a chicken is a nervous bird. He said he goes to Chick-fil-A sometimes, but only gets, I guess they have corn on, do they have corn on the cob? He gets
Can't say I go to Chick-fil-A for corn on the cob.
Well, but he said, because he was photographed once there, and he said, how dare you eat chicken when your players aren't allowed to? He said, no, I wasn't eating the chicken. I was getting something else. But yeah, he said it was a nervous bird, and he would not allow his players to eat chicken.
How do you measure nervousness
I don't know.
in a bird?
I don't know.
Would be the next question.
Harbaugh's a steak and milk guy, though.
No, nothing wrong with a little red meat here now and again. As now Jim Harbaugh found his way against Ohio State towards the end of his tenure. Now, how he did so, and then.
Well, it was because they were cheating. They had a guy filming. I mean, come on.
That's why I said how they did so.
Check out that. I don't remember if it was. I think it was a Netflix doc about Connor Stallions. I was watching that, and they, for any doc, there's usually backstory. They talk to the parents, how they came to where they are, and they kept interviewing his parents. And I thought, I don't care about his parents. And then it hit me. They were his only character witnesses. This guy had no friends. The one guy that was involved was his roommate from the Naval Academy, who was an unwitting accomplice because he went to a game and took some video and thought it was innocent. And they kept talking to his parents, who were saying, oh, no, the tickets were for us. He's such a sweet boy. I mean, that was it. He had no one to speak on his behalf, Connor Stallions.
Oh, boy. You can tell when a game has maybe reached out of hand.
5-0 Commodores.
5-0 Commodores. 82nd minute. Alan Horrocks is in. Tim Teicher left with an injury. We'll see if we can have any update from Coach Nastuda, but it didn't seem overly serious of concern. But Masaki Tsuji in the 15th minute, Julian Tovar with goals in the 22nd and the 56th. In between that, Alvaro Silva in the 54th and Alvaro Planes in the 64th. Got us to this 5-0 lead for the Commodores in the 83rd minute.
Yeah, talked about the World Cup, as John Melody mentioned. With the expanded cup, you don't see that group of death anymore. But I see Group F, Japan, Sweden, Tunisia, and the Netherlands.
Yes.
May not be easy. Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. The Egyptian national team was in Cleveland today, taking on Brazil. Boy, can you imagine the tailgating scene for that? Wow, that would have been fun. I wouldn't have even gone into the game.
Oh, boy. I would have paid good money to watch you partake in that.
I'm not familiar with Egyptian food, but I'm sure it's, I'm sure it's good.
That, I think, would be the most interesting part. The soccer is one thing, but seeing the different dynamics of tailgates amongst the countries, that is what I think would be great.
Well, and I think to an extent, I have read that tailgating is to a large extent uniquely American.
Shocking.
That they don't sit out in parking lots for hours and drink.
Santiago Geraldo coming in here as he stops, plants, fires,
beautiful
and
move.
Just misses on the near side.
Boy, Geraldo with a great move there, and to stop on a dime when he's going full speed, maybe 3 feet to the left. But yeah, I think I did read that as passionate as English and European soccer fans are, I don't think that tailgating is a big thing there.
Is that a proud thing, you think?
I don't know. As I've gotten older, I don't enjoy it quite as much. But, when you go to Browns games, you look forward to the tailgate going into the stadium as a chore. And we're going to get a corner, I believe. I think this might be the first.
Are you a Mooney lot guy, or?
No, the Muni lot in Cleveland is so hard to get in and out of. There's a parking lot right by a really nice deli that for $1 you'll let the user bathroom, and you can get right on 90. It's right off of 9th Street. The Muni lot really takes a long time to get in and out of.
And there's your diagnosis of the Cleveland tailgating scene. All right, Jack, I'm going to head down to the field to get ready for our man of the match. We'll see you in just a bit.
Sounds good. So Commodores, first corner in a while. Already in front, 5-0. Again, they travel to Cleveland Wednesday at Baldwin Wallace. So if you're watching, or you're a Commodore fan in the Cleveland area, or you're watching in the Erie area, you want to head on up. That one will have first place on the line. Cleveland will come back to Erie on the 27th of June. But both those teams undefeated. Cleveland with a tie on the year. Erie unbeaten, untied, and that's going to continue, obviously, here with the 5-goal lead in the now 86th minute. And we'll see who they give the man of the match to. My vote would go for Masaki Tsuchi. I mean, he was really fun to watch, and you talk about a goal, 2 assists, and just outstanding passing as well. From both Tsuzuki and his Japanese counterpart Takuchi, numbers 2 and 22, respectively. I mean, what weapons to have on both sides. Great speed. And now a turnover. We'll see if Buffalo can get on the board here late. They have 1 shot on goal, and that's one of the rare times, I mean, truly rare times, that it's even gotten all the way back there to Alan Horrocks, the member of the Marshall Thundering Herd soccer team, Division I, out of Huntington, West Virginia. He came in just at the end of the first half. Teicher, the starting keeper, came out, made a great play, injured his foot, left under his own power, appeared to be in one piece, so hopefully nothing long-term there, but he was in significant pain for a while. But they made the switch. And it's Horrocks, the Argentinian, in goal there now, 25. But just a testament to one thing I mentioned to John was, you know, Erie has now put in more subs than starters, and they have not missed a beat in terms of spacing, in terms of passing, in terms of knowing exactly who's going to be where when. And it just is a testament to the coaching and the work that these guys put in at practice every day.
Yeah, Coach Nastuda, Jack, has certainly done a great job in his first year here, and he's surrounded himself with a great staff that has certainly set up a great defensive structure. But what they've done offensively here, now 23 goals on the year, and they've yielded just 1, has been spectacular.
Tell you what, you said who would I put a shackle on for the World Cup. I'll tell you this, I like Point Park's chances if he's going to be one of their assistant coaches next fall. Beautiful pass there.
Oh, Cyrus Connolly with a great chance down here along the goal line. He just missed it by about a half inch.
Yeah, that was close. That was, again, crisp passing. And, well, I thought I saw a signal for a goal kick.
No, it just stayed in. Commodores did a good job here. I think it was Sho Kinjo that kept it in. As they'll just kind of play around down here. What do you think about a Julian Tavar?
Let's go with Tavar. I like it.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to. I mean, there are literally 5 or 6 guys that I think made a case tonight.
Will Perry, I know, had it earlier in the year, but he certainly is somebody
look at that ball offside. But what a gorgeous. I mean, this is the near side 30 all the way down into the corner, and the wind had died down. I mean, that was just a gorgeous, gorgeous pass by Sanchez, who was injured not long ago, clearly back in 100%.
Yeah, Alvaro Planas was there. Great job to catch up to that one, and he was ready to go and dart towards the net for looking for his second.
'90th minute. Tempting fate here is Horrocks down there. Why not? Oh, my. He was trying to box him out to force the goal kick, which is exactly what he ended up doing. But, you know, why not live a little bit? I mean, you know, you haven't had a lot of activity back there.
Yeah, I wanted to create a little excitement for himself, get a chance to get into the game. Again, he, other than yielding the 1 goal in the last matchup against Buffalo, he's been just as impressive as the other 2 keepers here in Aramendia and Teicher for this Commodore squad.
Yeah, he's been, I mean, it's hard to judge, and they're going to get, we'll see who's at keeper on Wednesday night, but I cannot wait to turn on the stream for that, because that is going to be a fun match with first place on the line up in Berea at Baldwin Wallace against Cleveland.
See here, Masaki Tsuji. Again, Cyrus Connolly is right there. And Jack, that'll do it. No extra time.
5-0, John. I'll be back with you in a second. Do the PA wrap-up.
Gotcha. All right, let's, if you're tuning in here tonight, a recap of this one, and we want to thank LeCom for their great sponsorship all year long, as well as tonight's match sponsor, Erie Insurance, one of the great sponsors here for Erie Commodores soccer. It all got started in the 15th minute. That's when Masaki Tsuji opened up the scoring, his second in as many home games here for the Erie Commodores. And then it was Julian Tovar with the first of 2 goals he would have on the night. That came just 7 minutes after Tsuji opened the scoring. It would stay that way 2-0 as they headed to halftime. Then in the second half, Alvar Silva continued his push for a Player of the Month campaign as he scored his goal, his 3rd of the year. And then 2 minutes later, Julian Tovar with his 2nd of the match, team leading 6th of the year. And we capped things off with Alvaro Planes coming up in the 64th minute as he came in as a sub to round out the scoring here tonight. Again, Tim Teicher leaving this game with an injury. Alan Horrocks finished the game out here tonight, but an impressive match nonetheless that the Commodores improved to 6-0-0 on the year as they will head off to that big matchup coming up on Wednesday, as Jack mentioned, at Baldwin Wallace against Cleveland, a matchup for first place in the Great Lakes Conference. The Commodores' goal differential now on the year stands at 22. They have scored 23 goals, yielded just 1 on the year. Always something to keep in mind as the push for the playoffs continues at this 6-0-0 start. As we have a second before Jack rejoins us and before we hear from Coach and the man of the match, want to make sure that you follow the Erie Commodores all season long on social medias. Erie Commodores FC, the place to go to make sure you are up to date with all the Erie Commodores information. Also, make sure to get some apparel over on West 12th Street at Erie Apparel. The Heritage collection is out. You want to have that ready to go for the second half of the season and the push to the playoffs. We await as Coach Nestuda is making his way over here. We'll see who he'll bring over as well. I believe they're going to bring Julian Tovar over as well as Coach Nestuda makes his way here after a 5-0 victory here tonight for the Erie Commodores, who improve once again to 6-0-0 on this young season in the first half. Drop the papers here. We'll welcome in Coach Nestuda. Coach, you talked about you wanted maybe a little bit more aggressiveness, the guys to get after it. What did you see there from the second half, and did you like it as much?
Good reaction. First 20 minutes, scored 2 goals. Everything we told them in the halftime, they did execute it. Still believe that we have a lot of tempo and we have better quality on the ball, but overall happy.
Your team has seemed to do a great job all year of taking second half adjustments. What is it about this group that takes what you guys tell them in the locker room and how they executed the second half?
Praises to all of them. All the guys, all the 18 guys, and all the guys that come from the bench, they just give us so much quality. There's not a quality drop. No one comes out the bench. And even the people that is at home that we have in the stands, they have such quality that they could start. So that's why our second halves are so good, because we have so much quality.
You're off to a 6-0-0 start. For now, the top spot in the Great Lakes Conference. A big match coming up. What do you expect for this next matchup coming up on Wednesday?
I think we took care of the business this first half of the season, and now Wednesday we go away to Cleveland. It's going to be a good challenge, and I think the lads are ready for it.
All right, Coach Nestuda, thanks so much. Congratulations on a 6th win. We'll bring in the man of the match. Julian Tovar, thanks so much for joining me. Just take us through the first half of play. You obviously come up with a pair of goals here tonight. What was the biggest key for you guys offensively?
I feel very good today. It's for the all day, every day. We are training every day for protein. So it's a step by step for the national tournament.
You guys seem like a group that, despite only being together for a couple of weeks, seem like you have a lot of chemistry together. What can you say about what you guys were able to do in the passing game to set up a number of your goals?
Because I mean, step by step, it's like just work. It's just that.
Final one for me. You guys are off 6-0-0 atop the Great Lakes Conference here in the NPSL. You got a big one coming up next Wednesday on Cleveland. How excited is this group to go out there and test yourself against a Cleveland group that's obviously also off to a good start?
Yeah, the next game will be very hard. I know they are the second place, so if we're gonna win this game, I think we are more close to the championship.
Awesome. All right, Julian Tovar, the man of the match. 2 goals here tonight. What a performance. The Commodores off to a 6-0-0 start. Jack, are you with me here at this point? No, okay, all right. Well, we want to thank everyone here for our Frank Media bringing you this great broadcast. It has been a spectacular start to the season. All of Rob's great staff that brings you these games, and so many people here at the Erie Commodores that have made this such a spectacular start to the season. For my broadcast partner, Jack Quinn, I'm John Leidick. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you a week from today as the Commodores will return to Saxon Stadium. They have that big matchup, though, coming up on Wednesday against Cleveland. Again, the final score here tonight, the Erie Commodores 5 and the Buffalo Stallions 0. You have been watching Erie Commodores Soccer, presented by Lecom.